waving a red light.
More or less.
Run,
I know they did your vision, man.
We can find Rafiq's apartment from orbit because there'll always be like this red glow everywhere he goes.
Aliens.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. I think they can see us. Hey, type 1 in the chat if you guys can hear us and see us. Something's always going wrong with my thing here.
Don't blame me this time.
Okay, great. No, it's not you. It's me.
Okay. Blame me
Okay,
this
great.
time.
They can hear us. All right. Okay, great. All right, hold on a second. Let me see. Thank you guys for pressing 1. Holy smokes. Did a notification not go out? Okay. Anyway. Hey, did you guys get notifications? Jeez Louise, what is going on? Okay, there we go. It's starting to build back
I never
up.
get notifications for any of your stuff.
I'm like, what the hell is that
small
small number in my chat? But now it's building up back up. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Those of you who are now coming into the stream. Once a month, preferably on the third Sunday of each month, I conduct a debate panel. And of course, you have our all-stars here. You love them all for different reasons. And so we didn't do one last Sunday. 'Cause I have been really like busting my butt on both channels, and so like on my non-political channel and then my political channel. And so I totally forgot. But then again, Trip, who's going to be extremely late right now, he's caught in LA traffic. He said that it's best that we didn't do it because nobody wants to focus on like the whole Israel and Jordanian situation. Yes, I said that. So now that that's over, we can go ahead and get down to business. But before we do that, let's go ahead and have everybody introduce themselves. So let's start with Katz, who's below me. Actually, let me switch you, Katz. I'll put you above, and I'll be down.
Are you saying that I'm beneath you, Tree?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying? That I'm beneath you?
Because Trip's running late. It has me and you switch like this. So hold on a second. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Arkatsuke. I say I'm a YouTuber, but I rarely put out videos anymore. I mostly just put out a podcast with my best friend in life, Jupiter, who you'll talk to in a second. I'm a refugee from the rainbow, a gay that really hates other gay people and everyone else in the alphabet because they're insane. And I'm unfortunate enough to live in California, so I bitch about it once a week. So hey, hi.
All right. And next we have Jupiter. Jupiter, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Jupiter. Hi, I've been relegated to this tiny little guest room, and I hate everything. Laptops on the goddamn bed.
And nobody knows, though. I mean, it doesn't even look like
nightmare.
it.
And no drink in your hands.
Everyone knows. No, thank you for noticing. At least I do a podcast called Kagget with my heterosexual life mate, Katz, who happens to be a homosexual. And before you guys watch our videos, I just want you guys to know he's not kidding. He really is gay. So just don't watch us if you didn't know that, because I just found out yesterday, and I'm thinking about. Hi guys, how are you? Good to see you.
All right.
Someone once thought I was ironically homosexual. I just thought that was hilarious.
Really?
I've never let him live it down. I've never let him live it down.
They thought it was an act. I'm like, no, I'm really into dudes.
No, they said it to me. They go, I think he's actually gay, and I'm like, yes.
No, you think? All right, next we have.
Yeah, I figured that one out.
Big Bad Bear Jew. BJ, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up? You can find me, the Big Bad Bear Jew, Instagram and YouTube. Although I used to make a lot of content, some interesting stuff on there if you want to check it out. I'm going to try to put up more videos. I had a little announcement about a week and a half ago. I bought my first home, so now I have, instead of like a wall behind me, now I have a bookshelf too. And I haven't read those books, but I just want to seem more intelligent. So I don't really read the book thing. But for recent content, I think all my content's on various channels at Treehouse, so you can check those out too
and
to
then
see me.
I will be uploading the interview that he and I did on my non-political channel, Just Tree 411. Y'all go over there and check. It's really good, actually. So
It was a good one.
I almost said
About
something.
relationships and
Yeah, I almost said some TOS stuff. I had to catch myself. It's amazing. Everybody, my guests are always on their best behavior. I'm the one that got to watch my mouth. But it's really good, very insightful. So you guys check it out. Okay. Anyway, so next we have Rafiq and his photo development room that everybody loves so much. I got that from Revenia, by the way. I just want y'all to know. I did not come up with that myself. Revenia came up with that. So everybody loves it. I think Rafiq, if you ever came on the stream without your background looking like that, they probably would think that that's somebody else and that they're trolling.
That's fine. That's fine. My name is Rafiq Jennings. You can find me at rjennings333 on Twitter and on Instagram. And again, it's a pleasure to be here.
All right, and next we have the youngest of our group, Felix. Felix, I love that shirt you got on. You look so cute, and look at your hair done grown out.
The Jufro.
Yeah, I
Wish you wouldn't have. God. I got a story to tell you. Sidebar: I'm walking down the street to go to Starbucks, and some guy who is not white asked me, "Hey, isn't it a little early to celebrate Hanukkah?" And I'm like sitting there like, I'm not even Jewish.
What did he look like?
what was the impetus behind asking you that?
What did he look like?
I don't know. But
You carrying
I
a
don't know.
menorah? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know. They think I'm Jewish, and I'm not. I'm Italian. I'm a mobster. God, get it right.
Hey,
Italians
how
are
dare
just
you?
Jewish.
We're
Got the
mobsters,
nose,
too.
probably.
Hey,
Italians are Jewish adjacent.
yeah, if your hair is curly, like a curly fro, obviously they're gonna call you Jewish. Okay, so that's probably
we go.
why.
I've never been so disrespected in my entire life, and that's
That's a
before I read the
compliment.
comment
What you
section on my
talking
Instagram.
about?
Yeah, what? Sir, please.
It's anti-Semitism.
Stop Jewish hate. Hashtag.
I know.
Robot.
And next, the star of our panel, you know what I'm saying, Grimace, the one that everybody loves so much. Always so happy when he shows up. The panel is not that much without him. Let's be honest, okay? So
It's boring.
So let's go ahead and introduce Grimace. And Grimace, I don't think he's streaming, but he'll go ahead and tell you in doing his introduction. Go ahead, Grimace.
Yeah, I haven't been doing much of anything recently besides tearing up the deck behind my house, leveling my lawn, doing some fence work, doing my spring work for 2021. So I'm not that engaged online right now, and just being on Twitter, interacting with the far lefties I think it's made me a little depressed. So I need to go outside a bit and get some fresh air.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on as
Yo,
usual,
bye.
Trey. This is like the only thing I do, so I'm happy to be on this roundtable and always happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad that even though you checked out, I really am happy that you still come on my panels. And that's why I guess I'm really happy that I still do it once a month so I don't overwhelm people and burn them out. So that's really cool too. Just in case you guys don't know, Trip is running late. He's stuck in traffic, so he's probably gonna miss the first question that we're gonna deal with. And guess who's back with a nice looking haircut, all in a ponytail? Archer. Archer, go ahead and introduce yourself, and he's back to streaming now. Go ahead, Archer.
Yeah, what's good, guys? I'm Archer. I took a break for the past 2 months. Been working at the good old paint store. Going back to school, so who was starting to go back to school. So just kind of been focusing on my life for the past couple months. But I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to fucking get some scuffs tonight if we do. All right. And yeah, this angle makes my nose look really fucking big. I'm not Jewish, I'm Italian.
Here we go with another Jewish
Yeah.
joke.
I'm the only Anglo on this whole program. All the rest of you are mixed of something or another.
I swear I was gonna say Archer. I was like, Archer, you're putting me to shame. I think I'm gonna have my Jew card revoked.
Okay, so let's see. Let's
Good
get
to see you, King.
Let's get to our first question here. So I did a long stream. Well, not a long stream. It was a long video where I was replying to Joe Biden addressing the COVID-19 anti-Asian hate bill. He signed it into law. And what I was explaining to everybody, because a lot of black folks were saying, "Oh, they're really going to put us in jail, just for showing up in the store. This is stupidity." So I was showing them that, first of all, hate crime against anybody is already, against the law. But what people did not know, and I also point the finger at the Republicans for following along with it, they're such cucks, dude, is that this is our first hate speech law. What they did was they snuck it in, all right, and I don't think they snuck it in. They knew what they were signing, and the Republicans read it. But what it is that it's already against the law to attack someone for their ethnicity, race, religion, sexual orientation, blah, 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 blah. But what this bill does is that it also funds the police. It gives more money to the police to be able to spot a hate crime against Asians than anything. So, it is the craziest thing. Like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you are giving money to the police of doing something they already do anyway? Like, you're like, we're going to teach them what's the difference between an Asian hate crime versus any other kind of crime. Like, they already know the difference anyway. But that's not the thing. Online, they have a new task force that this money has funded to a group of law enforcement officers who are going to be monitoring social media. They're going to be monitoring the videos. And if you make any indication towards Asian hate or use hate speech against anyone of AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islander, then you're going to be breaking the law, and therefore that's going to be a felony. So this is what people have not really realized, after not reading the bill, not realized that this is now America's first hate speech bill. Okay. And they did it in a disguise under, they're trying to pretend that they're fighting racism of whites against Asians by focusing on the Atlanta situation when that person did not attack those massage parlor people because they're Asians. He also killed a white couple and I think another white man, but nobody want to talk about that. And they love to conflate because we understand that the number one threat to Asians when it comes to violence is black people. It is what it is.
Nazis. Oh.
And so let's start with our 2 minute. Oh man, I gotta go get my phone okay, let's start with Archer. I'm gonna trust you with the 2 minute. Well, no, I can do one on the computer. Okay, I'm not gonna go get my phone. Go ahead with your we're gonna do the 2 minute intro, and then we're gonna do the open, and then we'll do the closing. So go ahead with your 2 minutes, Archer.
Yeah, so I looked through this bill multiple times. So the way I see it is that it's not necessarily hate speech. Rather, it's just online reporting of hate crimes or incidents. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, and where specifically in the bill that hate speech part is. But the way I see it is written in the bill is that it's not. Yeah, it's about adding hate. It's about getting data and resources on supposed hate crimes. Now, whether you agree with that or not, it's whatever. But I think the data portion of it, collecting the data, is always a good thing. Yeah.
I will address that. It doesn't say. It says if you. I'm gonna have to go look at it again. I'm probably not. If I can go through it again, but it says reporting any type of derogatory or hateful words against Asians. So I have to go look at it and go find it again. But that's what it did not specifically say that we're looking for hate speech against Asians. They're saying they're looking for aggressive words towards them. But I'll go look it up for you and read it out to you. Okay. Go ahead. Okay, so I'm sorry. That was quick. Thank you. I got the watch now. Grimace, go ahead. Your turn.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was looking through the bill too. I couldn't find a thing on hate speech. I know that the U.S. Supreme Court's ruled multiple times against hate speech laws because it violates the First Amendment. But just speaking about limiting speech in general, when it comes to the government, they just shouldn't do it. And the people who want something like that to ever be implemented are just, they're building a rod for their own backs. They're being extremely naive in their thinking. Unless they can answer the question, like who is the person who's going to be the dictator of this? Who is that one all-knowing source that will give this responsibility to determine what is and what isn't hate speech? And as soon as I pose that question to myself, I realize that even though people say a lot of shitty things and they say things that could have really bad results, the alternative is even worse. So yeah, that's my thought on hate speech. The anti-Asian hate bill, it seems okay, I guess, from what I saw. It's not. It was bipartisan, so I can agree with that. Getting Republicans to actually do something and agree on something is pretty good. And like you said, it bolsters the funding for law enforcement. So yeah.
Okay. Wow, you guys are doing pretty good with the time. Okay, so let's go to Felix. Felix, your turn.
In the age of 14-year-old girls on Twitter can make you lose your job for a tweet you made 10 years ago that's lacking proper context. Anything that is sports quote-unquote hate speech is kind of ironic because, like Grimace said, we don't have somebody who dictates what is and isn't hate speech in every single instance. And if we did, society would probably collapse within 20 minutes. But, like, we already have, like, hate crime laws against Asian people. So I feel like this was literally just a virtue signal. People like, oh my god, people are complaining about how Asians are getting beat up online. Let's sign this bogus bill with a bunch of other bullshit that's in it so we can pretend like we're doing something. Really, it's just something that they can put on their scorecard. If we did this, see, we're not as bad as Trump. We tried to help, right? It's a virtue signal in every sense of the word. And a very badly disguised one at that.
Okay. Next, we have Rafiq. Rafiq, go ahead with your intro. Opening arguments. Excuse me. Did I say intro? Why don't y'all do? Why don't hold on, Rafiq? Why y'all don't correct me when I say wrong words?
You don't correct women when they make mistakes, otherwise they yell at you.
Why don't y'all correct
I got explain to you, all right?
All right. I'm sorry. Not intro. Opening arguments. Okay. Sorry about that, Rafiq. Rafiq, you go ahead with your opening arguments.
It's all right. I haven't even looked at the bill. I'm sure I haven't watched your video. I live in New York City. No one cared about the Asian hate there when blacks were doing it. It just took some white guy in Atlanta to do this and everything. And this includes Asians on the left. I'm not surprised it has the hate speech clause in it because, there've been other bills, I think, Obamacare, other bills that had these insertions that went under the radar. So these insertions that often go against the freedom of the that this country was founded on. So to me, this is just a rouge. I looked at the NPR article and it said it's a legislation for investing in community center solutions and provisions to mitigate anti-Asian rhetoric. It says that legislation is needed to address the root causes of system with racism and oppression. Now, when have Asians been oppressed? If they were serious about talking about Asian oppression, they would talk about the discrimination Asians now face in college admissions.
Right, yeah.
Right? Since they're the model minority. And to the point where some of the white left would want to classify Asians as white because since they do so well academically. And speaking of Asians, the NPR article said that Kamala Harris is the first Asian American president. She ain't black no more.
Really?
This whole thing is just
They switch back and forth.
She's
American,
okay.
whatever they need.
Okay, so I was like, this whole thing is just dumb. It's just a rouge. And if you notice the stats that part had on the statistics of victims of Asian hate, No, you did not see the race of the perpetrators. I mean, Asian hate will continue because it's like anti-Semitism because it's from oppressed minorities. Okay,
Bingo.
and this whole thing is just more virtue signaling, SJWism, whatever you want to call it. So I mean, it's just a smokescreen that the left is using, pretend that they care when their real intent is to subvert everything that America was founded on. And of course, Republicans cook. I mean, especially New England. I mean, the NPR article mentioned how the main Republican, reached across the aisle with the Hawaiian Democrat who I've not heard about Asian hatred occurring in Hawaii, but I mean, I can definitely speak for New York City, so not surprised. It's just a ruse. It accomplishes nothing.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
All right. Next we have BJ. Go ahead. Your turn. What's your opening argument?
I second everything. I second everything Rafik says, and to add to that, and just go on a little bit of a tangent about hate speech laws. There's a million reasons why they're bad. Grimace points out some of them. The other part of it is about. I think the biggest part is about the who's enforcing it and the power they have, because it's very malleable. It's open to interpretation. Before this podcast started, we're all joking around with each other. There were some extremely offensive things said about Jewish people having big noses. That could be considered hate speech, but it was a joke, right? Who gets to tell you whether something's a joke or something's real? Hate speech laws would destroy comedy. It would destroy our ability to communicate with one another if enforced in the way that some people want us to be enforced. But outside of hate speech laws, I'm also going on record and saying hate crimes are BS in the first place. Hate crimes are a form of hate speech laws. I don't care if if someone attacks you because you're black, or because you're Asian, or because you're fat, or because you're ugly. No matter what, it doesn't matter why they attacked you. I'm concerned that they attacked you. And that should be the thing that's penalized. And if you want to ask me, I think that every law in the book that's going towards assault and battery and rape and murder should be doubles. I want to see more strict crimes for that, some strict punishments for that. I don't care why it happened. And by criminalizing why it happened, they attacked you because you're Asian, then you're criminalizing beliefs and thoughts. And those beliefs and thoughts we should be allowed to have. And so I know it's a very unpopular opinion, because then they go, oh, you must hate Asian people, so why you're saying that we shouldn't have hate crime laws. No, I just don't see the difference. Grimace and I had a conversation with this a while ago, and it was a little bit different because we're talking about immutable characteristics. And this particular, and that I think it was a little bit more relevant in that example. In this context, I don't understand if you're really fat, or if you're really short or something, and you've been dealing with that your whole entire life, and you get beat up because you're short. It probably stings a lot. It probably stings in similar ways to people who are fat, or even if you're Asian or if you're black. And so if you're being attacked for any reason, that's the bad thing, not the reason behind it. And to go off, I know I'm short on time, to go off what we were saying before, all these attacks on Asians are coming from blacks because we have Asians and blacks usually living in urban communities in big cities. And we have, a lot of times, we have Asian business owners, black patrons. We have black people who are less wealthy on average, Asian people are more wealthy, and there's huge conflicts. And anyone who lives in reality, who lives in these big cities, understands the conflicts between Asians and blacks, but the media will never, ever, ever discuss it because they're the same group. Any BIPOC is the exact same. Well, blacks and Asians have very different cultures, very different family structures right now, and they have completely different needs that we could address, and so we shouldn't treat them as the same.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I was reading the bill. I should stop. Let me wait till you guys are talking.
I think I went past 2 minutes.
Yeah. I apologize. Go ahead, Jupiter.
Yeah, I mean, I did not read the bill, as many of you didn't, but if there are hate speech laws in there against AAPI people and I could be punished for it, then let me just say, fuck every single AAPI person. They can suck my fucking kosher cock. Go fuck your mother. Hate y'all. Which I don't, but don't put laws on my speech. This is the slipperiest of slopes. But that being said, the whole thing about I'm BJ, you're 100% right. Katz and I did an episode that's coming out tomorrow on this. The whole hate crime, hate speech thing, it convolutes everything. It doesn't make sense. If someone's going to commit a crime, it doesn't matter if they're committing it because I'm Jewish or I happen to be a Jew. They're doing it anyway. I have my prejudices. I have tons of things wrong with me. I don't go and physically assault people because of anything in my thoughts. And if we start if we start regulating speech like Canada, like England does, here's what's going to happen. The left controls everything. They always do. They're stronger than us. They are more committed to all of this than we are, and that's a fact, unfortunately. It's going to be us. Everything we say is going to be hate speech. Stand up against every hate speech law, every speech code you can possibly do. That's my only advice.
All right. And last but definitely not least.
Well, not certainly. Not okay.
Cats, go ahead and give your
right.
opening arguments, please.
I feel pretty much the same way about any kind of hate speech law, the same way I do about gun regulation. Usually it is a false solution to a problem that they're tackling in a very roundabout way that isn't actually trying to do what it says it's trying to do. This law has nothing to do with protecting Asian people. It has nothing to do with addressing the real problem of escalating black violence against, well, everyone right now. It has to do with appearing, as Felix was saying, appearing to do something, and as Jupiter was saying, and while at the same time putting very real limitations on what we can and cannot say. Is it happening yet? No. But the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And right now, laws like this are taking us on a journey to a place we do not want to go, i.e., like England or China, places where the police department is monitoring social media because they have nothing better to do except to look for easy victory points, ways for people who are not actually monitoring the communities that are falling apart and instead monitoring what people say on the internet. I don't believe that laws like this have anything to do with their proposed goals. I think they have to do with giving a smokescreen to politicians and bureaucrats to make it look like they're doing something, while at the same time giving them backdoor access to powers which they're not supposed to have in our country. And I think that this is a very dark day indeed, and nothing good will come from this kind of legislation. At best, it's a waste of time. At worst, it is the beginning of the end.
Okay, so let's start it off with this question here. So we all know that there's already a hate crime stating that if you attack someone because of their race, their gender, their religion, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? It's already illegal to attack someone for being an Asian. But isn't it like, are we really not going to address the elephant in the room of why that is? First of all, Asians being attacked is not new. My question is, are Democrats and people like Biden only caring because they know that, and we're going to let Grimace start this off, they know that 2022, they about to get their asses handed to them. So now they're trying to pander to Asians, which is they're still they are small in the demographic percentage, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, it looks like they're losing a lot of Hispanics and Latinos. And it looks like some of the black folks are a lot of black folks are pissed off because, they still haven't, Biden's supposed to be doing a whole bunch of promises, made a lot of promises to the black community, but he hasn't done anything. So they pissed off about him too. So is this a way of just trying to hold on to a minority vote there, Grimace, for the Democrats?
And real quick, I'm sorry, Trip just super chatted into you.
Oh, okay.
He ain't gonna make it.
Oh, okay. All right. Go easy on. Oh, Archer's Gucci. Thank you, Trip.
No faith, no fucking faith.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Trip. That's okay. We'll hold it down for you. Okay, so go ahead. And then you guys can once Grimace.
Wait, can I jump in? Can I jump into a point that was made during the intros?
Yeah.
So this idea that that like hate crimes shouldn't be taken into account when in the judicial system. So like that goes into territory of, well, should we pay attention to motive at all when it comes to a crime? Like the difference between someone accidentally running someone over with a car versus someone shooting someone is that motive. There's difference between manslaughter versus murder. When it comes to something like a hate crime, if you killed someone, or if just say hypothetical, you killed someone because they were black, right? Like that contributes to the person's motive. That contributes
You're confusing
to hate
motivation
itself.
and intent.
How do you prove something
You're
like
confusing
that?
motivation and intent. You're talking about the intent to do an action, not the motivation behind why you would have that intent.
Well, yeah, if I killed someone because they were black, that's my motive.
No, but
you prove
Archer,
that?
if I shot you,
The motive doesn't matter in any way in a legal sense, except to establish intent.
if I shoot you because you have a Jewish nose, or I shoot you because I don't like your shirt, or I shoot you because I'm a psychotic maniac, I'm still a psychotic maniac shooting you. It makes no difference. It's a shooting crime.
I think he's talking illegally, and I can get from my legal background that there's the motivation you use when you're giving evidence would be to show that there's an intent involved.
Yeah.
Okay, he did it on purpose because he hates black people, right? But the motivation itself is not relevant at all to the sort of punishment. Intent is, of course, if you murder someone on purpose versus on accident, it's a completely different crime. But I think you're confusing the two of them.
Yeah, you're probably right on that on motive versus intent. But like the same premise, so like the same message, so it's still getting along, right? Like that if I killed someone for a specific intent, that's gonna make the crime different. Like if a psychopath shoots up a school, we'd say that psychopath is different because they're obviously mentally deranged and ill versus another case.
But that goes to the capacity of why they would do it. So like, if he shot up a school because he wanted to kill children versus because he wanted to kill black children, right? Then that would be going to what we're talking about here. But I think that there shouldn't be a difference in that you're still murdering children. That's our point.
Yeah.
But going to what you said, because I think I'm completely against hate crimes, but you're talking about the reporting of it, which I can see why you'd say, okay, well, why isn't more data better, right? And I can kind of understand where you're coming from there. My only issue is that I think a lot of this data is compiled for a reason, that is to push an agenda. Because whenever this racial data is compiled and the other direction, that's never talked about.
Yeah, and just to be clear on that point too, it's like they're like data is data, but you can interpret data really shittily, and the way that you shift through data can be really bad. So adding more resources to the way in which we get data and analyze that data, I think is a win.
Wait, but Archer, real quick, and Grimace, I will shut the fuck up. I really will, but real quick, can I just point out the terrorist statistics, Archer? When they were talking about terrorism and the statistics around it, Islam and Islamists were grossly overrepresented. So what did they do? They compiled more data. They added weird speech, hate crimes, racist, terrorism. And they also conveniently shifted the dates to be like, they're like, well, let's talk about September 12th, 2001. And after that, it's white supremacy. The way they shift data, if you give this data to bureaucrats, which we're offering up,
they will manipulate it. They will manipulate it no matter what. No matter what.
They will.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
You would. I'm not aware. Like I'm not trying to say like like this doesn't exist. I'm just not aware of what you're like the exact scenario that you're talking about. But yeah, obviously, like people, if you have power and you want to manipulate data, and you want to change shit for political gains, that of course has to happen. But I think we should aim to live in a society that's takes data seriously and tries to uncover truths.
To kind of play off on this original question. I'm sorry, I got another question for like Big Bad Bear Joe when we were talking about intent and motivations. What do you think about the difference between the punishment for a crime for like say rape between like an adult woman and like maybe a teenage girl? Should there be a difference there? It's still like I think I've never really thought about that before, but I think that would make sense. But that would go to the victim's capacity more. I guess the capacity would be if it was rape, it would be non-consensual anyway.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure. I mean, I think that the crime would be worse. I mean, intuitively, I think it would be worse for the younger girl, but I'm not sure how the legal system would handle
If
that.
she's
Aside from saying
underage,
statutory, that sort of thing.
if she's underage, it's a
It would be
different law.
statutory and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a different crime. It's the same act, but based on the characteristics of
But
the
I'm
person,
just
it
going after
can
your
be
question
different.
being the immutable characteristic. You're asking if it's relevant there, and I would think that it is relevant. But because the statutory thing is one thing, but I think that at the end of the day, the law is supposed to represent justice, and I think justice is something that's deep seated in all of us to understand that if you're attacking a younger, like an underage girl, that is worse than the already bad act of attacking an adult woman.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
black-
think,
I think most people would agree with that.
But
me
I think people
raping
would
a black
apply that
woman or an Asian
to hate
woman
crimes.
shouldn't be a difference. Me
wait, so
raping a 25-year-old or a 15-year-old is a huge difference.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Grim, is that I think that whether you're black or you're white, if you're Hispanic, that doesn't make you different. That's not a difference worth recognizing, but it is when it comes to underage versus overage.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're just gonna arbitrarily decide that like age is something that
I don't think it's arbitrary. I don't think it's arbitrary because the laws right now set it so that race shouldn't be a factor in anything. When you go to vote, it doesn't matter what race you are. When you buy alcohol, what race you are. But when it comes to age, that matters a lot. So we already defined that in the law. When you look at the law, you have three different categories. You have strict scrutiny, intermediate scrutiny, and rational basis scrutiny. And we apply strict scrutiny when it comes to laws on race, saying, okay, if you're going to discriminate based on race, you need to have an extremely good and necessary reason to do so. But when it comes to age, when it comes to sex discrimination, you only have to have that intermediate scrutiny to say, okay, we need a pretty good reason to say so. Because we recognize that age and your sex does make a difference between people. Men and women are different. That might change as we go further and further along. But we have said to ourselves that race does not make people different. And I agree with that.
I think I have something I can say about this. That the reason that the age is more important than race, for instance, is because you can age is something that we measure universally across all cultures. Like we all use more or less the same calendar. A 15-year-old is a 15-year-old no matter where you go. But how do you say that it's worse to rape an Asian person than a white person? On some level, you'd have to have different penalties for different races, and that, again, breaks up the universality of justice.
And it also makes you value one more than the other.
Well,
which we can't do.
Yeah.
You're not penalizing, like the way these laws are written. You're not getting penalized for like Asians are like that's like a +2, or blacks are like a +5. The idea is that like if you committed this crime with the intent to, like, specifically because this person was black or Asian, that adds to the grossness of the act that you committed.
But it doesn't add to the injury of the act. What it does is penalize your reasons for doing so, and your reasons for doing so, like your beliefs about what you have about blacks, for example, that is your own private beliefs that is legal to have. But so when you attack someone because they're black, you should go to jail for the attack, not for the belief, which is still legal to have.
Yeah, and that can.
Archer, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Would you rather see a 13-year-old child raped and brutalized, or a 25-year-old of any race of your choosing? The thing is, we base our laws on morality. No, and we understand these things intrinsically. No, you can't tell me that some idiot who's going to shoot anybody, let alone a black, white, Chinese, for any reason, be they having their Crips or their Chinese, it doesn't matter. But don't tell me that it's the same thing as a 13-year-old getting raped. Don't compare those two. They're apples and oranges.
I'm not comparing. Sorry, the reason I made that comparison is just like a modifier to like the state of the person who has the crime committed against them, not like a one-to-one. Like is it okay to like rape an Asian 14-year-old versus like a 35-year-old black male? Like that's not the point of the analogy.
I'm putting it in terms of morality.
We
recognize modifiers on crimes. Yeah.
And but this is part of what our last discussion was about in our law, strict scrutiny versus intermediate scrutiny, right? sex is viewed as something that's intermediate. I think that if you rape a woman, it's a more horrendous act than raping a man. I don't know about physically or anything. I'm just saying that like I think women are more worthy, or maybe not worthy is the right word. Worthy are more women are more in need of protection. And so when it comes to what I mentioned with our cat's gay before about when you rape an Asian woman versus a black woman, it shouldn't matter because we value both of them equally. But we as a society do value underage children more than adults, and we think that they're more in need of our protection than the adults, and that's why the crime is more significant.
I'm tending to agree with you, but when you say that women need more protection, like what do you base that on? Like what
I base it on
Biology?
I do base it on biology, but I mean like I'm no feminist, but feminists are right when they say when women go outside and walk the streets at night, it's a completely different thing than men walk the streets at night. Women are naturally more dangerous than men are, and women are more susceptible to being attacked. Women need stricter laws, stricter guidance in order to feel secure in our society. If we had, we have cultural mechanisms for this right now. If you're at a bar and a man yells at you into a fight, it's a different story than if you fight a woman as a man. Culturally, because we understand that a woman is in greater need of our protection there, and there's strength imbalances, et cetera, et cetera. We understand that culturally, and our laws do reflect that to some degree, that women, if you attacking a woman, does get you greater penalties than attacking a man.
Sure, but
I agree with that.
Can't you then spread that idea, that logic to minority groups?
I can't
No,
because
no,
I
you can't
don't
because-
think
no,
I think that
hold on,
women
wait,
it's
BJ.
the question to me. Let me say one thing. I think that women are weaker than men. I don't think that blacks are weaker than whites.
But wait.
That's why.
Okay, wait, hold on. How about this?
Oh,
Flip the
you're talking
question,
about
Grimace.
physically?
Wait, Grimace. Can I flip that? Because BJ, that's kind of blacks are way overrepresented in violent crime. So actually, it should be whites. If you want to create laws to protect people, based on minority, based on hate crimes, then it should be whites, Asians, Jews, and homosexuals that actually are the protected class, right? Based on representation in violent crime statistics. By
But that-
your logic.
I
There's
think the issue
no
is measurability. If you can't measure objectively who needs, it becomes subjective. Because if you're just going to
Exactly.
use statistics, if
You're
you're just
not
going to use
measuring,
statistics, then you can go back and forth on that.
I think the
You're
biggest
not,
issue for me
you're
comes
not
down
measuring.
to I don't think
The way
I
that
don't
these
think that
laws.
I don't think your race should be a
But
defining
like this
feature
is
of value. I
coming down
think
to
that
like
your
a
individual person should
pressure
be.
Olympics sort of shit. Like
Sorry?
this is coming like a pressure Olympics sort of shit. Like this isn't
Yeah.
like you're gaining points. It's very broad. If
Yeah,
the reason for the reason why you committed crime was targeted towards a specific group of people, that adds grossness to that crime, which the society we currently living in, that more reprehensible.
kind of differentiate my position before.
Yeah.
I don't think that if you hate, so I think that if you attack a woman, you should have a greater penalty of a crime. But that's not because of the belief system, it's because of the attack itself. If you hate women and you attack women, I still don't think you should, because at the end of the day, what you're penalizing is the beliefs, and that is antithetical to American values. You should be able to have whatever belief you want, right? But when it comes down to the victim group, there are differences between men and women. I don't believe that we should recognize there are racial differences, but I don't think we should recognize them in the law for a variety of reasons we can get into. But there's other things such as age, such as disability, we could say, okay, well, people who are disabled need certain protections. They need us to go in and say, we build ramps in public areas, that sort of thing. But when it comes to race, our whole system needs to be that we're all equal. And so if you're saying, I'm going to attack you because of your race, it doesn't matter. I'm going to attack you because of the person. And once the whole entire thing gets into why you attack them, what your belief system is, you're penalizing the belief. And that's what my simple point trying to get across. And we don't believe in that in America, and penalizing beliefs.
But if your belief actively, like if that belief, like you hated women, that like you can make the argument that person, as a result of their actively of hating women, led to the result of those women's getting raped. Wouldn't you want to say that because of that we should penalize that belief, because that belief led to the injustice of
rape is the crime that you're penalizing, right? You're saying that you would penalize the belief without the rape happening?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
Like we are penalizing that attack. It's the rape. I'm saying you shouldn't penalize why because you hate women. Why you should rape that
Well,
woman?
yeah, no, you
So
should.
my
You
question to you, my question to you
Yeah.
is why? So should you penalize the belief without the attack? Because that's what it seems like you're getting at.
Yeah, because the belief led to the attack in the first place. If
So
you hate,
but-
like again, it's speaking the confines of this example, like this hypothetical. It's because of someone hated women. If you hated women, that belief itself led to the
So
act,
you
the violent
believe
act.
that if someone hates women, or someone hates blacks, then they should be
No.
that's a crime.
Did they commit a crime?
If they
Like
do
you can
commit a
hate
crime-
people. You can hate people all you want.
That's my point. Because then you're saying, oh, they committed a crime, and I'm saying, well, then the crime is the crime.
No, you know the
belief.
crime. Yes, but the hate crime is a modifier, or not a modifier, but it's a
Multiplier.
Shit.
You say it's a multiplier.
motivation.
I would say
multiply-
rather say amplifier to it. If you committed that
Either
crime
way.
because of that,
It doesn't make it worse because the belief. We're not judging people's beliefs. America has no stance on whether it's a good thing for an individual to believe certain things.
no, okay. My argument isn't legislating beliefs. My argument
It
is
is,
if you no, because you can if you had the belief, like if you said you hated women. Okay, I'm not saying you, not saying anyone on this panel. I'm just a hypothetical person. Someone said, I hate women. I think they're lesser than us. Men are better in every way. Fuck women. Okay.
True. Thank
You can say that all you want. You should not. You
Stop
should
it.
not be penalized in any way, shape, or form by the United States government. But if you were to rape someone as a result of that belief, and it can be proven in a court of law, I think
How do you
that
prove
that belief should add a modifier, amplifier, and you should be fucking thrown the book.
But
You should have the
that
book thrown
modifier,
at you.
Archer, that modifier is then saying that belief is wrong.
Do you not believe? Wait,
We
No,
have to make-
no. It doesn't matter what I believe. It matters like what we have the freedom to believe in. And so if you're saying the
you
belief
can-
is wrong, then you are penalizing that belief.
Well, no. I personally believe that's wrong. But I'm not
Doesn't
gonna.
matter
I'm not.
what
But
we
I'm
think
not
about
asking
that.
for if you hold that belief and you don't commit any crimes, you shouldn't be thrown in jail. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't.
No,
be
I
penalized for
understand
having
that,
belief.
but you're calling it a modifier that makes it worse. And my point is the idea of making it worse, that extra little sentence is the penalty of that belief, and that belief is something we should not be criminalizing because we shouldn't criminalize beliefs.
Right, but wait, hold on, Archer, real quick. Can I just put this to you real quick? Look, let's grant you this benign idea, immeasurable idea of hate crimes. Let me just read something to you, okay? Last year, there were 593,000 interracial crimes, okay? 537,000 of them were done by blacks, okay? 24% of hate crimes are done by whites. 24% of hate crimes are done by whites, despite making up over 65% of the population. Do you know what amount blacks made up of hate crimes? If you wanted to put hate crime laws into practice, you would do it against black on white, black on Asian, black on Jewish, black on homosexual.
Yeah.
But this conversation, this is why I'm so tired of it. Despite the fact that I don't believe in hate crime laws, it doesn't make sense. It's not measurable. But the real reason that we love to talk about hate crime laws, we never actually get to the root, which is if you enacted actual hate crime laws, only one group in the whole country would be affected by them. Wouldn't be the white supremacists. Just wouldn't.
So Asians keep on voting for a party that will say we're on your side, but we'll say, oh, but you can't go to college because you're Asian, and we'll say, hey,
Wait,
college admissions is heavily weighted towards blacks and Hispanics and against Asians, and Democrats are for affirmative action. So that's a pretty obvious connection there. When it comes to hate crimes, right? We'll say we're on your side. But when it comes to the roots of it, they don't want to deal with that because that's a whole other landmine for them. So what they're doing for Asians is just political. So they could say, they keep it vague. They go, hate crimes, let their friends in the media. So, see that white guy down in Atlanta. And so then now when we're talking about hate crimes, we're talking about that white guy and the other white MAGA rednecks,
Bingo.
deplorables around the country that are committing these heinous acts. That's the whole
That's it.
point of this.
Yeah,
In practical terms.
Yes.
I'll
I have
stand by you on
something
that
to say about this.
point. Like,
Okay, hold on. I want Archer, then Rafiq, and then Felix. Go ahead.
Make this quick. I absolutely stand by everyone who's like wrongly. If you're wrongly, if you're wrongly afflicted by a hate crime law, like that's a misstep of the justice system. I think that's one of the greatest injustices that our society could possibly do is when we throw the book at someone or penalize someone for a crime they did not commit. And like I'm trying to speak at this from not from Democrats are doing this for political gain. That's I think that would be a whole nother conversation. I'm just trying to focus on what is the proposed law and how is it actually going to be applicated in practical terms in society.
Go ahead, Rafiq.
I think that one thing we have to mention about hate crimes in general that's important.
Cats, hold on. Let Rafiq go, and then you can go after Felix. Go ahead, Rafiq. Can you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think he was talking.
yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
Killing my eyes.
All right, cool. No, I'm just agreeing with Jupiter what he's saying. I mean, this whole thing is just this kind of a not really solving the problem. It's just a circle jerk.
Okay. Felix, and then Cats, and then everybody else can jump in.
When you tell someone that you have to make a hate crime bill to protect them, you're telling them that they have no agency in their own protection and that they rely on other people to protect them, which is very insulting. It's basically saying, hey, you're not strong enough to protect yourself. Let us do it for you because you're weak and pathetic. Also, you can't get into college because you score too high. Stuff like that. It's really just another way of putting people in this like idea that you have to have someone else do something for you because having agency in your own life is a bad thing and you should feel ashamed for wanting it. Stuff like that.
And just to jump in with that, that's why I'm okay with the government doing towards women in certain respects when it comes to anything physicality-wise or getting attacked. I don't think you should treat women like that in the workforce or in colleges, right? But having that culture for women who are naturally smaller and weaker is something that's actually valid, but not when it comes to race. And so that would be my...
Can anyone point me to, since affirmative action is like leaked into this, like where... Maybe I'm just ignorant on this. Are there laws in place that Democrats passed for affirmative action to keep race quotas and college admissions?
So when it comes to laws, that's mostly constitutional. It's what the Democrats have been in favor of is allowing universities to do anything they want, and that's what liberal justices have done and said, you know, we're going to defer to universities when it comes to this, right? So university practices are trying. So say it again.
So private universities to do whatever they want.
It'll be public or private, but you know, when it comes to admissions, they give a lot of leniency. So right now they say, okay, you can't make racial quotas. We're not allowed that anymore, but we can allow you to use race as a qualifier, which ends up being the same thing. And so there have been some laws, right? And so take California, because in California, at least the Asian population rallied up, and I think it was 2008, they passed an initiative to ban affirmative action in California, right? And so that happens in the University of California school systems, that the Asian population went from like 4%, I think it was like 8% to like 30%, right? It jumped overnight because of the just extreme amounts of discrimination. Democrats have been in favor of affirmative action for 50 years now. It's not a secret. And
when you say affirmative action, I don't know, do you mean like writing laws for it, or just saying that we need to get more representation? We need to make sure that like black people get into...
You can't write laws for affirmative action, because affirmative action is the freedom of universities to discriminate based on race.
Right, but when we talk about Democrats, we talk about policies they implement, right?
These are Democrat policies.
So it's the legal system comes to justices that Democrats appoint, and then it's really what they say, because again, there's not that many bills to mandate affirmative action. That's not the thing, right? They'll support affirmative action. They'll say that we need affirmative action in order to correct injustices from the past, blah, 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 which never really makes sense, especially when it comes to Asians. We're going to correct their injustices by discriminating against them, right? I don't think I'm off kilter here. The Democrats have been on this page for like 50 years now, supporting affirmative action, and conservatives have been against it. To the point where now a lot of Democratic voters don't even know affirmative action is a thing. When I was in law school, I had that discussion. They're like, well, can you prove that they're giving unfair admission to certain minorities?
Well,
yeah,
I got the receipts for I'm going to give it to you. I do know where I don't know if you've seen this, but I'm about to give it to you. I'm gonna post it in the chat on Discord chat. There has been major discrimination against Asians in reference to in New York, where because only less than 4% of the students who are able to qualify to get into the school are minorities, they are now going to openly discriminate against Asians, and the Asian parents are suing.
That's in private. That's in private school. That's in private, like K through 12 as well, right now in New York.
Okay, so
In New York, they're doing that in not only colleges, K through 12.
Wait, where did you post that?
in the text chat.
Oh, wait, I just got it.
Okay, and then I'm gonna.
Yeah, I
post
mean,
another
this
one.
shouldn't be the debatable issue. The debatable issue should be that's a fact. The issue is, should we be allowed to do it? I don't want to clear this 12 tangent. But should we be allowed to discriminate against people based on race for admissions? Some people might say yes, but not against Asians. I would say no whatsoever. People of different races are the same. Treat them the same.
Yeah, I agree. It should be no. You shouldn't even have names on because people have their own internal biases. They might not be even.
I agree. You shouldn't report, and that goes to Archer's thing. That's what things go to Archer's earlier. Is like whenever I get asked for my race, I never answer because I'm like, this is not relevant to. I just got an electric bill. Like the state requires us to ask for your race. It's like I'm not going to give it to you because why do you need to know my race to give electricity, right? When it's not relevant, I'm not going to report it. The thing is that if you're not reporting it when it comes to college, it's because you're white or Asian. That's the reason why you're not reporting it. They know that already.
Yeah,
because they know.
Yeah, sorry. I
like
just
to
need to
say
get something
something
like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll go after.
I think the biggest problem with hate crime laws and hate speech laws is that they attack this notion that we were talking about earlier, which is that for the law to be effective, it has to be universal. If it doesn't apply to everyone, it's not a law. It's just a guidance protocol. We can't live society where every law has an asterisk attached to it. This law is bad, but it's worse in certain circumstances, but we can't really define that. And then it basically just boils down to who has a better lawyer. Murder is murder, whether you murdered someone because they were Asian or whether you murdered them. You murdered them. That's the ultimate point, not why you murdered them. There are some motive and things like that. These are things that lawyers can argue about. But as far as like trying to racialize everything, trying to say that if a person did something because they had some sort of weird ideology or some weird personal prejudices, I don't think that this will benefit society in the long run because, again, it's just breaking everyone down into ever smaller category boxes as opposed you're making like. So again, with even though it's not intended to do that, when you have these kind of laws, it makes it like, and a 14-year-old Asian girl was murdered the other day. Well, at that, like, if we use hate speech, hate laws, hate crime attachments to that, then what's worse, that the 14-year-old girl was murdered or that the 14-year-old Asian girl was murdered? When the most important thing should be that a young girl was murdered, not who she was, not what she looked like. That was my point.
Wait, Katz, should we get rid of the different degrees of murder then?
I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you about like the way that the criminal
What?
justice system has to function. What I'm saying is that
Intent.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's about intent.
Murder is based on non-motivation.
What?
It's on intent.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
there's like,
no. If you're
anything.
saying, if you're
If
saying
I
though
intend
murder
to kill
is
you,
if
if
murder.
if premeditated, if I wait in my home right now and I'm thinking I'm a murder archer, I don't like that fucking big Jew nose he's got. I'm coming to his house tonight. That's a big. Sorry, no.
Fucking
no.
slapped you with the fucking hate crime, dude.
Unnecessary.
Oh my god.
Why? Sorry, that was a hate crime. I think you look great, to be honest. I'm serious. I love the Master and Commander thing.
Wow.
I'm being serious. You actually do look good. But if I sit in my home and knowingly say, I'm going to kill this motherfucker, plot it out, come kill you, as opposed to you scuff my sneakers and I just bought these fucking things and I'm going to kill you, or if I by accidentally kill you. These are different degrees of
because
psychopath.
the law recognizes that if you plan out a murder, and you are more of a danger, it's a worse crime. Whereas the
Exactly.
second way, when you're
That's
provoked, is different than when you do it on
yeah,
accident.
no. That's what I'm saying. But my point was
the race thing to that. If you
my point was is that like yes, we should have different degrees of murder. There should be like if a crime of passion should not be the same as a premeditated murder.
Yeah.
Like my point was is because Kat had said murder is murder. Like I would like say I would say no because there's different types of murder.
I think he was referring to like within those categories of
my
murder is a murder, right? Or Katsuka, you'd say within premeditated murder, it's different than if you do it on accident. Within, negligent homicide or something like that. Within the same sort of murder, doesn't matter.
There are different degrees of murder, but I feel like when you try to narrow it down beyond what the law is intended, because the law isn't intended to say that it's worse if a black person kills a young white girl, which is the way laws used to be back in the South. But we don't want those kind of laws. I don't have the personal history with those kind of things, but I do know that during the South, during the Jim Crow days, there were, even though we had the same laws, if certain people committed certain crimes against other people, it was worse, depending if it was reversed. And we can never go back to that way.
Yeah, I mean, but
go ahead. No,
sorry.
No, Archer, go.
Sorry,
go.
I just.
Oh, sorry,
Grimace, you go. I've been talking too much.
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of play around with this idea a little bit more because I understand the one side, like there's, as soon as we give credence to these hate speech laws, hate laws in general, that we're giving the interpretation up to some authority that we won't necessarily control. But at the same time, I see cases like, we'll say there's a community out in like rural Georgia or something, like they're pretty not so posh with like outsiders, and a Jewish community moves in, they're trying to get themselves started like in the deep South to like make a community of their own, and their synagogue gets like spray painted every day with like a swastika, like, and maybe the crime for like doing
it's usually us doing it.
It's usually the Jews doing it too.
Sorry,
okay. But let's say it's not. But let's just say it's not. Say whatever that crime is. That that the actual penalty isn't enough to like prevent people from doing it more. Because one person gets a slap on the wrist or whatever, and then he'll come back and do it again. But at the same time, or other people do it, and there's lots of people getting these slaps on the wrist because the penalty for the crime isn't that great. But on the other end, the Jewish community is clearly feeling like terrorized and intimidated and being asked to get pushed out of this area by this other community in the area. I think
with Grimace, it's already illegal to spray paint and terrorize.
No, I understand what Grimace is saying, because Grimace is saying because of the circumstances surrounding the graffiti, as in like a pattern of behavior, that graffiti is to have a different effect on the community. I think is what you're saying, which I think makes sense, which is fair, and it's a kind of a hard thing to get around. My counter would be then. I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying. Then it would be you're BJ, holding the individual. I didn't yield to see. I held out. My counter was.
Oh my God!
At the same time, you're making the individual yield.
We need to beef up this testosterone level,
right? My counter is that an individual then is now responsible partly for actions other than their own. But then maybe the counter to that could be, well, they didn't know the circumstances surrounding it. I understand it. At the same time, though, like once you start going down that path, you're gonna get to some pretty ugly territory, because who defines those circumstances? Well, a judge usually does, not the legislature. The judge does kind of take those sort of things into consideration.
And you have to be very careful with this kind of stuff, because, I mean, look at all the phony baloney hate graffiti that we found all over black fraternities and black community centers.
Done by blacks.
Like nooses, all kinds of... Yeah.
Nooses and...
So, like, you have to be very careful with that, because, like, on the one hand, like, the community wants to, like, oh, injustice, we must like, strike with the hammer. But at the same time, like, you have to make sure that it's an actual thing that what you think it is, because it looks like a duck does not mean it's a duck.
Here's a good question. Hold on. I got a good one for you guys. I got a good one. Hold on a second. I got a good one for you. So if you do keep the hate crime law, of course it's still a law, right? If a black person does a hate hoax against his own race, should he be charged with hate crime against his own race?
Yes, and wait, hold on, wait, before we say this. Before we say this, I just want to say one thing. Number one, I think anyone who accuses someone of rape, anyone who accuses someone of a hate crime should get the exact same crime if it's false. as the perpetrator would have got. But Grimace, can I just ask you this? And Tree, I'm sorry, but I have to, because I think, Grimace, you can get down with this. In our judicial system, we believe it's better for a guilty man to go free, 100 of them, 1,000 of them, 1,000,000, than an innocent man go to jail, right?
Yep.
With the hate crime thing, to put these laws on the books, these hate crime laws, which are sweeping and broad, and to say it's a slippery slope, look all around the world. Look at England. Now, if you call someone a he that identifies today as a she in England, you can literally have the cops show up and drag your ass to jail. But
that
do you
video
not
was crazy.
see that's real? Look at Count Dankula also. But
A guy
do
got
not
sent to jail for throwing some bacon at a mosque, right?
Yes,
And then he got,
yes.
then he got
And they killed
prison.
him
That's
in
not
jail, by
necessarily
the
going to
way.
happen in the United States.
got killed in prison and got more time than one of the terrorist rapists who was part of one of the biggest grooming gangs in fucking England. But what I'm saying is, do you not see how giving the government, Archer and Grimace, this type of sweeping, broad mandate to take your thoughts into account as it relates to race, do you not see how that's a really fucked up power to give the government?
Yeah, I think I've been like reiterating that this entire time, right? Like I don't know
I'm directing it
yeah.
at Archer, to be honest.
I wouldn't like. So when you say like look at England, you have to take into account England has a different legal structure than us.
You're trying to give us theirs. You're trying to make ours theirs.
No, that we're not, because theirs is based on common law, and in addition to that, their legal system isn't based in a structure where you're innocent until you're proven guilty. Like their legal system is fundamentally different. Is fundamentally different than ours.
The Ninth Circuit, who would be fielding
like our legal system was created in response to the failures of the English
and
English
we've
system.
corroded it.
No,
It's
I think
not
we've
the
made it
same
better.
as
I think statutory law has made for a more just society.
The hate speech laws and hate laws are throwbacks to a era that we don't need in our society. Laws, for them to be fair, have to be universal. And anytime you try to add in asterisk laws like these kind of Asian hate crime laws, you're just diluting it. You're taking justice, which is supposed to be blind, and keep making her focus on specific areas in a way that's not equal and it's not fair.
And Grimace's Jewish part, your Jewish comment about how a Jewish community came into Georgia and they were being terrorized, or the hypothetical, let's say that the same laws that are on the books could be used for targeted harassment, terrorizing, domestic threats. All of these same laws could be targeted at that. It doesn't matter if they're Jewish. It matters that they're being terrorized.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not a hate crime law unless
so the hate is the terrorization part, right?
It's not a hate crime law unless a white person's doing it. I mean,
Right.
a Muslim can cut the Israeli flag
God,
in her
so
classroom
true.
in England. No one says anything.
I love you.
You know.
I don't think anybody disagrees with not having the proper
Fair applications.
I
proper
think we pretty
application
much
of the
all.
law.
I think we all are pretty much of one mind about this. It's just the degree to that.
Yeah,
We have
think
the laws on the books to deal with all these. Let's not give them any more power,
my
please.
biggest issue with all this is
Okay,
that
so
and
we'll
it's the same
spend
thing
the
with
last
many
5
things
minutes
we
on
have enough
this.
from the left.
Before going to
I was
closing.
just saying that my biggest problem, this is with the left broadly always does, is that you infuse race into a very, very, very important subject when the race part is not the central part of this. It's the violence part. We have a huge violence problem in the country. It's been increasing in the past couple of years. And what are we going to do about it? Well, our answer has been to release prisoners, to make, to reduce penalties, to allow felons more rights. And we're focusing on Asian hate crimes. Asian hate crimes, if I had to take a guess, would make up 1 of 10,000 crimes in this country. Is it a problem? Of course. We have much bigger problems. We never focus on the big problems we have. We only focus on the really tiny ones that are, very titillating for the masses to talk about race or about sex and religion or Trump. Those are the only issues we focus on. That's my biggest issue.
All right, so we'll do closing arguments. Let's start off with Rafiq. Let's go ahead and start off with you. Your 2-minute closing.
Okay, all right, let me be specific. It's not a hate crime unless a heterosexual white Christian male does it. Cisgendered male.
Very true.
That's it? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. BJ,
Burn
go ahead.
sweet.
Your turn.
I mean, I kind of just did a spiel, but yeah, at the end of the day, I'll tell a little hate speech story. And hopefully I'd mention this on a different podcast. It's just something that really affected me early on in my life, and it kept on affecting me. When I was in high school, I had the head of the what was it, the ACLU, not the head, someone from the ACLU coming by, and they told us about how, and ACLU is a very Jewish organization, how in the 1980s, a bunch of neo-Nazi skinheads went to the city of Skokie, Illinois. Skokie, Illinois, at the time, it's a Jewish city. At the time, especially, it had a lot of like Holocaust, refugees and older people who had escaped. And they went there and they were just sort of going all over the city and harassing people and putting up signs, all that sort of stuff. Never violence, just extremely, you could probably the worst example of like emotional infliction through your words, of going into Holocaust survivors and telling them they should die and Hitler was right, that sort of thing. One of the worst things you can imagine when it comes to speech, right? The ACLU at the time, back when it had integrity, it defended them. And they actually took up the case. And the ACLU's Jewish membership dropped by like 70%. People were not happy. But the ACLU said, yeah, and the Jewish organization, they lost, and they stuck to their guns. Ooh. And this is back, and when I heard this story, I was like, man, I've never heard so much integrity, so much, it was amazing. The ACLU is not like that anymore, but at the time it was. So after that happened, like the membership dropped, so they kept on saying, no, these people have the right to say what they want to say, even if it does hurt people's feelings, as long as they're not being violent about it. They actually represented them in court when Skokie kicked them all out and didn't give them permits and that sort of thing, right? Because free speech is something that is sacrosanct. And this relates to hate crimes because our beliefs, no matter how disgusting they are, our beliefs are sacrosanct here. You should believe whatever you want, and if you attack someone because of your beliefs, the attack is the crime, not the belief. America is the beacon of the world when it comes to protecting beliefs, and we can't let it slide by saying, "Oh, if the crime's involved, then now the belief is criminalized."
All right, Jupiter, your turn.
You took the story right off my tongue. That's exactly what I was going to say. Katz and I have done a ad nauseum. I always bring this up. I actually have family who marched in Skokie, and just to put a cap on that.
Nazi side?
Yes, well, no, but this is true. But to put a cap on this, what you didn't end with was the fact that a lot of the Jewish ACLU members who defended them in court were also at the neo-Nazi rally, which, by the way, Skokie had more Holocaust survivors than anywhere else in the world, including Israel at the time. The same Jews that defended them were in court were protesting on the other side against them, but they defended to the death their right to do it. Jewish people have historically, unfortunately, in the last, well, I don't consider the modern left Jews, but the most rich tradition of free speech. The one of the greatest defenders of free speech ever. It's a shame what's happened to us these days, but the whole thing with hate speech and speech codes and speech laws and hate laws are whenever you give the government the type of power to wield against you your own thoughts, words, and motives, it opens up not only you, but the entire country to literal fascism. The minute you allow the ministry of truth to happen, they will take that and run with it. Just like the Patriot Act. It was just supposed to protect us from terrorists. Now we're the terrorists. All 500,000 people or whatever it was who went to January 6th, they're all now domestic terrorists, even though they were just a bunch of boomers marching with flags and a couple people went into the Capitol. Don't ever give the government the power to regulate what you can say, regulate your motives like that. Leave hate speech over in England where it belongs. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you want to go ahead and finish that sentence?
Did I? Oh no, I went over. If I went over, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
Fuck these people. And fuck the man. Save Empire Records.
Mm.
Okay, Cats, your turn.
Yeah, these kind of laws are lies. They're feel-good platitudes at best, but more than anything, all they do is just gum up the works with a bunch of, as I said, platitudes to people that really should not be made to feel better about themselves because they're people that want extra points for being who they are or ways to hurt people that annoy them more than the law itself would permit. The only way for a country to function is if the justice system is fair and perceived as being incorruptible. And I'm afraid laws like this do the opposite of that. They break down the perception that justice is blind and rather make it into like, well, if justice is blind, but she has some favorites, she has some not favorites, and I think that will do more damage to our country than any terrorist attack. Because when the justice system of a country becomes suspect, when people don't believe that the courts are places where they can get real justice for whatever their reason, that is what leads people to go to the streets. That's what leads people to commit real acts of terror and real acts of violence against other people. So if I had to leave it off with anything, it's that the justice system should focus not on naming what specifically was done to who, but making sure that every case is prosecuted fairly. Everyone gets a fair trial and that no one is being singled out unfairly. Justice must be blind or we're all fucked.
All right. Felix, go ahead.
And
Your
hey,
turn.
Tree.
Huh?
Happy birthday, Killer Chaos. He's a regular. It's his birthday.
Killer Chaos birthday today. Oh, that's my buddy. That's my buddy Tater. Happy birthday, Killer Chaos. I'll sing a song for you at the end of the stream. Felix, go ahead. Your 2 minutes.
So politicians love to jerk themselves off when they do these virtue signals more than Onision likes to jerk off to girls who aren't old enough to get their driver's license.
Yeah.
But every single time we have something like this, it's just another. We're moving so close to communism, you can literally taste the red lines from here. Like literally, I think I could see people lining up outside their house right now. But these people want to be told what to think because they can't think for themselves. They want to be told to rely on the government because they were never taught as a kid to do anything for themselves. All these people that think this shit are from households where they never had to get a job prior to the age of, I don't know, what age do most people get out of college now, like 25? It's like these people like want to push this stuff on people who don't need the protection. Like, you don't need these hate crime laws because it's already illegal to beat someone up. Like, have we gone back to the point where committing crimes is now illegal unless it's against certain races of people? Have we devolved to that as a society? Probably, in all honesty, let's be completely honest. But yeah, that's it. Society is falling. Long live the Soviet Union.
All right. And Grimace, your turn.
Yeah. I wanted to give one last story on the affirmative action real quick.
Yeah, sure.
My brother-in-law just applied to college. He got valedictorian of his middle school class. He was valedictorian of his high school class. He's only gotten A's in his entire life. He was lots of volunteer work, involved in all kinds of clubs, all kinds of AP classes. Literally, he comes to visit us and he's doing homework because he likes it. And he had dreams of going to MIT. And I'm like, I don't see, like, how could anybody ever reject him from MIT? And, well, he got rejected from every Ivy League school for some odd reason. Meanwhile, he got a 1580 on the SAT, by the way. And he's actually worked during the years you're supposed to work as a kid. And right now, he's going to end up going to the same state college that I went to for some odd reason, who didn't try at all. And the one thing he had going against him was that he was male and that he had an Asian last name. So I tend to want to also lean against that pretty hard these days. I'm pretty anti-affirmative action. As far as like other hate crimes, I agree that Well, I tend to I want to side with the I guess the ultra lefties who want to make special categories for people and have different laws for different people. Well, when they say that there's like special circumstances where people are getting like terrorized, with my example before, but it doesn't seem to be applicable or kind of enforceable in the way we want it to do, because the crazies always take over, and what hate becomes is like what my interpretation of hate is, and people love to be the victim. We're just going to end up with all kinds of cases like this, and we end up putting like races into our laws, which is not something we want to do. We want everybody treated exactly the same. So that's my take on this. But
All right.
I am sympathetic to the intimidation that could come with some of these hate laws that might go unchecked because of it. But I think it's just a cost.
All right. And last but not
Last
least, we're going to
slide.
have Archer. Archer, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, like, okay, Lady Justice being like blind and like equal protection of the law, that idea is that like when you go to court, the state isn't favoring the prosecution, it's not favoring the defense. Doesn't mean like all laws have to be written equally. The justice system is going to reflect the society that is providing its justice. It's the legislatures are the ones who are writing are going to be the ones who are going to be writing these laws. So when it comes to like Lady Justice being blind, it comes more towards the procedures of court. And I would say when it comes to hate crimes, if like I think it's an amplifier. It can be an amplifier in cases where it's proven beyond a reasonable doubt. If you can prove that in a court of law, that amplifies the crime even more. That I would say, if someone was targeting Italians because they were Italian, fuck yeah, I want the book thrown more at that person because they were attacking my specific my ancestry. I could have been one of the victims of that crime because they were coming after and attacking. I don't want laws that are going to be blindly saying, okay, because you said this on Facebook or on Twitter, now we're going to charge you with a hate crime. That's not what the hate crime is written in particular to the one that we were talking about today. It's actually kind of specific because it's not saying very broadly this is like a hate crime is if you say something offhanded. No, it's in these specific scenarios when the prosecution can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed said crime because the person was of a particular race. Yeah, you should have the book thrown more at you.
All righty. Okay. So, I want to thank you guys. Let's change. I might participate in this. And guys, please be careful with this next topic when it gets into the transformer part of it, because you know how YouTube is.
Transformer.
All right.
Robots in disguise.
So you know, hold on, let me just get the.
She's talking about the mams here.
Okay.
Well, but we're
It's
normally so
mad.
tepid. What are you worried about, Tree? We're a bunch of tepid milquetoast centrists. Tim Pool
well,
thinks
not
that we're too
according to
boring.
YouTube, we are. I mean, that's
I mean,
I'm
Phalix is
a
a
bit of a
homophobic
transformer
racist,
phobe,
but
actually.
Wow.
I never liked him
That
either,
is
to be
I'll
honest.
admit that.
all right. Okay. So.
Wow. That is Jew-phobic.
That's-
All right. Here we go. So the next.
Never been a big fan of the Transformers.
Next topic is, and I'm going to give the link to, actually, let me go ahead and give the link to the chat right now. There's a video that has gone viral. When I first saw it, I'm not going to lie, I was so turned on by the Russian propaganda one. I was like, holy
Me
shit.
too.
I was a little bit too. I was a little bit too. I gotta
I was
say.
Tiny
like,
bit.
holy shit, god damn.
Jesus Christ.
So I just put it in the chat
Fight
for
on,
you guys
comrade.
to look at it.
God, we're such fucking losers.
Oh gosh, it was
This
so
country
great.
sucks.
So
Fucking
in
lame.
the beginning of it shows a Russian military video for promoting for the army or any of their military. Then it then they take a clip from a YouTube video, which actually goes into the whole alphabet identity politics. The CIA also did this. I did a video on the CIA version of this, and I clowned the woman, because she was bragging about how she has a mental illness and she's a CI fucking agent. And I was like, see, I don't trust the alphabet people anyway. I love local police and state police, but after that, once you get to the federal level, I don't trust them at all. I don't trust the alphabet boys or girls or whatever they want to identify as. So here's the deal. A lot of people are saying that now that they have lowered the standards for the military, that it's weakening our army, our military to defend ourselves in general, which makes us vulnerable. Personally, I still have that arrogant American mentality. No, I don't think that anybody, regardless of how they're catering to the SJWs for the military, I don't think anybody is bold enough, including China, to come over here. If you notice, we tend to go where they are and fuck with them, but they don't come over here. And
world's biggest army.
Yeah, and I said, and they said that basically we're in trouble. So the question is, and we're going to do a 2-minute opening arguments. Is wokeness like this helping or hurting our country, particularly starting with the military? Let's start off with our cats are gay.
Oh, and why am I being chosen to go first?
Because you're gay, obviously. You want to hate crime law?
We're all in positions of privilege here.
Seriously. Yeah. It's complicated. I mean, on the one hand, let's put it this way. On the one hand, I have to mention the fact that it sort of signals the end of the classical period where soldiers did most of the work, since the majority of our really heavy lifting in the military, at least from a strategic point of view, is done by drones, planes, and things that don't really require people to be super strong. On the other hand, that's not really true. One of my roommates is a vet, and it just speaks to that our military is catering to really soft people. And whether or not you think this is going to have an effect on the military, I don't think it's necessarily a great sign. Do you want a transgendered vegan theater major to be the one that is handling your defense, or do you want the Russian dude? Not specifically because he's Russian, but because you want. Let's put this way.
Alpha.
Given the choice, given the choice between Big Bad Bear Jew and Phalix, or even me, I'm just saying, the choice is which one should be on the front line handling the heavy equipment. But yeah, we should be going for the masculine, very aggressive types. Not so much the softer guys like us that are, not the best choice for military work, in my opinion.
As someone who can't do 2 pull-ups, I second that opinion.
All right, we're going to go to Jupiter. You're next.
Well, cats, please. Nobody handles heavy machinery better than you. Don't sell yourself short. I believe in you. Stop it. That being said, I've seen a bunch of these. One of them, and I'm not making this up. Link in the description. I mean, sir, you can look at it. It's easy to look it up. A woman comes out and she goes, she's like a Pentagon person, and she goes, I have an anxiety disorder and suffered from imposter syndrome or whatever. And
imposter syndrome.
What is that?
Syndrome, yeah. Imposter syndrome is where
No, I know that. There's like a fan or something. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, but she comes out, she names lists these disorders. She's like, and by the way, I fucking hate men in the patriarchy.
Yeah, that's the CIA video I did.
Officer,
yeah.
It's like, guys, I get it. But when it comes to the CIA and the FBI and the Army and the military, can you guys not? You're rotting us from our core to begin with, but to have an anxiety, imposter syndrome, disorder-ridden creature like this, obviously really insecure, obviously really fucked up in the head, that's who's guiding our missiles. And then the next one's like, oh, I am a gay two female parent, blah blah blah. It's like, meanwhile, in Russia and China, I think this is a Chinese psyop, in my opinion. I think China has infiltrated us at the deepest level, FBI, CIA. I think this is a Chinese FBI psyop. I think all the election shit had to do with China. I think that this is because no one can take this seriously. No one, and I'll shut up, but wait. No one can look at this and be like, yes, when I think of who is going to guard our country's secrets and security, I want an insecure, emotionally distressed female of color who lists all these anti-American poets she likes.
And has pronouns.
Yeah, and by the way, my pronouns are they, them. Well, thank God.
All righty. Next we
We're so
have
fucked. We are so fucked. It's awesome.
BJ, you're next. Go ahead.
Oh, a couple of years ago, the debate was, women in combat roles and should they have to get the same, standards when it comes to physicality. And people who understand that the military is there for a reason, not just to suck our tax dollars, went, of course they should. If they're in a combat role, they should be able to have the same physical requirements that men do. And if they don't, then those physical requirements must not be important. And maybe they're not. But if they're there, maybe they're there for a reason. The military is the most, traditionally, most merit-based system we have in our country. So much so that you're allowed to use, IQ tests are banned all over America. You can't give students IQ tests. You can't give, they obviously have proxies for IQ tests, but technically you're not allowed to give them to employers, all that sort of stuff. The military can, because the military is all about merit, right? And so the debate has transformed so quickly to, should women have to do the same physical standards to, should we go for designer maternity wear for our really pregnant pilots, right? I don't want anybody with mental disorders. Transformerism is one of them, but whatever it is, even if you have depression, and depression is so much so that you need to publicly talk about it, I'm not sure if I really want you in the military as well. We need to have people who are ready to fight. And I think America's military has gotten to the point where it's like, well, we haven't fought any real battles. The battles we fought have been, easy ones. Obviously there's been casualties, but it's been ones we weren't afraid of losing, right? And so it's okay. Well, if we lose a couple of people, it's fine as long as we're not gonna, they're not gonna be over here, right? Well, that might be the future for us. And so what's happening now with the military is the same thing that's happening with all institutions. Once the left infiltrates, they create a culture of fear in which you have people there who can't speak out and go, oh my God, this is wrong. Like you can't be recruiting transformers for the military. Like we need to have big masculine men. They can't say that anymore because they're afraid of getting fired. They're afraid of being socially ostracized, right? And you think the people that would maybe push back against this, if any institution would be the military, maybe someone has some balls there, but that's not what's happening. So this is happening all over, but again, especially for the military. And the military is one institution in which we need to have it merit-based more than anything else. This selective focus on recruiting of traits that don't matter for military success is awful. And this is the last institution the left is working on taking over. And right now, obviously, the rank and file are still very conservative, actually. But when the officer positions are being filled by liberals, we're going to go downhill fast. And it's terrifying because, again, that was the one thing we can depend on. Okay, well, at least we have a good military. Well, that's going to slowly decline after a while. If you're not focusing on new technology, you're not focusing on your enemies, you're focusing instead on these characteristics that aren't important when it comes to, all the stuff we were talking about before, and don't actually have a negative impact on ability to fight instead of a positive one.
All right. Next, we're going to have Rafiq. Rafiq, go ahead.
Oh, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. When I saw that ad, I figured that Tree is just going to have a Russian eye candy armed forces video on her non-political channel to drive the manosphere itself away.
And what's wrong with that?
Yes, I just see that coming and everything. But people talk about weakened armed forces. Well, it comes from a weak ass president. Or probably more likely, a weak president will equal a demoralized military. But I think that the actual men that we don't know about behind the scenes still in the military will try to delay this woke shit as much as possible. And also, a country doesn't have to militarily invade another country. There's always been subversion. I think there's some video, Yuri, the Russian ex-KGB agent, going around talking about how they're able to infiltrate. A country doesn't always have to be physically invaded to be infiltrated and
That's
taken
true.
over. So,
Yeah.
but if the world is laughing at the U.S. over these armed forces commercials on multiculturalism and diversity, then it's quite evident that it's hurting. I mean, I've only seen the ad with the woman with the two lesbians. I mean, it was just telling a story that said nothing about the army at all. It was just stupid. It was like, well, let me say, the lesbians, as Jesse Lee Peterson likes to say, the lesbians. So it was just stupid. I mean, I've accepted that the executive branch of Washington D.C. is a joke, and I'm not really outraged or anything from it. So yeah, and I heard Ted Cruz even caught some flack for comments on it. I mean, where's the lie? I mean, the Russians are about having a strong military, while our government is about having a woke military that promotes diversity, multiculturalism, and LGBT awareness around the world. I wish them luck trying to do that with Hezbollah and the Gaza Strip and whatnot.
Mhm. All right,
That's all.
and next we're gonna have Archer. Archer, go ahead with your opening arguments.
Okay, so I think the idea of having like just a military full of crunks is a bad idea. Like
What's a
you
crunk?
need
Stop.
you need
I need to
some.
know what crunks are. What's crunks?
Have you ever seen the movie Emperor's New Groove?
No.
The character Crunk.
Crunk.
Okay, the character
Crunk.
Crunk is just like a dumb muscle. He's a dumb muscle.
Okay.
Okay, like the idea that like you just want buff, like you want buff dudes. And you could have some, you could have some that are intelligent. You could have some that could be just meatheads. But this idea, like, if you're looking at a stereotypical male, like, there's just gonna be like a big buff dude fighting the wars. No, yeah, there's a certain purpose that's served with muscle, but there's a purpose that's served with wisdom and like tactics. Like, you want smart people who are going to be in smart roles. Now, this this catering towards like people of other communities, like. I'll use this analogy. Like, I was very much involved in the Boy Scouts for many years. Like, the Boy Scouts like caters to different groups of people, but they always keep the same requirements to become an Eagle. If you want to become an Eagle Scout, you want the highest rank of Boy Scouts. Everyone has to do the same requirements. That's the way it should be. We could cater to whoever to different groups, but once you get in, like, you have to complete those requirements. Wokeness would only destroy the military if it got into the specific requirements. If it's just catering towards different communities, I don't really care. If they're smart, they follow the same prerequisites to get to the roles. By all means, have them in the military. Russia is just they're such fucking they're fake. This is the same country that like Putin's fucking riding with his shirt off, fucking riding a horse. Like, these people, like, Russia just tries to like fucking make themselves look way better than they are. Their economy is actual shit. Their military shit. United States is just better infrastructurally, and by the means that we could deploy our military, it's just far better.
Okay, Archer, I gotta call you out on your Chad phobia. What makes you think that fine ass Russian is stupid?
No, I mean it just seems like you just want muscle. Like your idea is just muscle.
Yes, we want muscle.
I don't think it's
what the hell you want? A skinny person that don't have no muscle? What the hell?
No, okay. I want the muscle. I want the muscle on the front lines, and I want the scrawny fucking smart guy who studied. No, we're talking about recruitment video. We're talking about
recruitment for combat.
The whole entire point is that we're also about combat. Wait, you go a second.
No, because there's more roles in the military than just combat roles. You realize that, right?
No, Archer, it's fine, but the whole entire thing is this: is like the buffness is a positive quality,
Yeah,
no matter what role you're in.
that.
But the transgenderism is a negative quality, and no matter what role you're in.
It's like, do you want that in every facet? Do you just want to?
Listen, you're talking about Putin sitting there with his shirt off. Like, how awful is that? It's like He's bragging about that. We're bragging about lesbians.
Boone's a fucking pussy, okay? Boone's a fucking pussy, all right?
I'd rather adopt about being shirtless riding a horse. That's way better than what we're doing.
And by the way, you said that was
I
fake.
care about the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes are muscle.
Results. I care about the results.
Hold on, you
You're
can't
impressed
get
as
result without
usual. You
muscles,
never
Archer. Are you
addressed
serious?
CIA
You gotta
Wokeness.
have
No.
physical
I'm not
fitness.
saying. I'm not saying don't have muscle. I'm just saying. Like the whole military shouldn't be full of just like
Archer,
fucking
you
muscle,
think-
and not saying like
It's
conservative
full
now.
of it, but
Can
we
you
don't
come
we
out
don't
and
we
say
don't
you're
need the
a-
transgender shit.
Can you
So we
say
don't.
if the person is trans and they're smart, they love fucking America,
Fine.
and they
But
can
the
do the
positive
job,
part's
and
not
they
that they're
like,
trans.
and they can serve that role. Why the fuck
Then
does it
recruit-
matter?
then-
It makes
then
the
recruit-
military
no, no,
better.
Archer, then
Are
recruit
we
for
done
smart
with
people.
intros,
Don't
by the
recruit
way?
for trans. Don't recruit for trans. Say we want
I
smart
need a
people. When you recruit for
cigarette.
trans, you get that.
Are we done with intros?
No, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No,
We
we're
gotta
not.
get
No,
Grimace.
sorry
I'm
about
so
that.
sorry.
We got excited.
Ew,
Okay,
shameless.
Okay, Grimace, go ahead. I
Say
apologize.
about
I
Archer.
was just being
Hold
polite
on,
and I'm bending the
let's
rules.
get Grimace do his 2-minute opening. Go
Agreed.
ahead, Grimace.
Yeah, sure. No, I agree with actually where Archer's coming from. It's just like you guys are only like pinning yourselves on the Russians for having, I guess, athletic men who do, I guess, have a place in all the foot wars we have. But like as far as like going up against the Russian military, it's not going to be who has the best physically prepared men going into combat. It's literally just tactically how we're going to deploy our nuclear weapons. And as far as that video, it's just a recruitment video because that's what the army wants to do. It wants to recruit people into their fold. And as far like people on the far left, they're not joining the military, not in any kind of meaningful way. I don't. There's no reason to be scared of something like that. And like anybody says, like sure we have men who are like really good at like shooting guns and lifting weights and all that stuff, and all that has its place. But there's also people we can find other talents as far as like people management, strategy management, things like that other people can fill in a military from a military standpoint. I don't think anybody like disagrees with that, but like that whole comparison between the U.S. military in the worst possible, I guess, sissy kind of commercial versus like the most manly Russian commercial, that's fine. We can make that comparison. But if you're going to go against the Russians who have a tendency to be a little behind the times, they have to compete with the Marines commercial where we have the guy fighting the dragon. I don't see Russians fighting dragons in their commercials. And until they do, they know where to find me.
All right, hold on. Let's get Phalix out of the way. Phalix.
Sorry, fellas. Out of the way. Ouch.
I agree with what Rafiq said about our military becoming weak because we have a weak ass president, a WAP, if you will. But there is a bit of a point to what Archer is saying is that we should value other aspects besides just muscle. I mean, I wouldn't put myself in a combat role, but like if there were something based on intelligence, which is something I'm good at, yeah, I could see where I'd fit in. Problem is, I will never apply for the military because I guarantee you I would fail every single physical requirement tenfold in a matter of seconds. But, I mean, how many people do you know are like super left, like borderline communists saying, I'm going to go join the military? Not many. So, I think this is trying to bait. They're like, we want you to join, but it's not going to work. All it is just going to lower recruitment because the people on the left are going to still not want to do it regardless. And the people on the right are going to be like, this is fucking stupid. Why would I join it? We're making ourselves look weak. So they're doing that whole corporation thing of, oh my God, white people are racist, thinking it'll increase sales numbers when all it does is just decrease it across the board because everyone thinks they look like fucking idiots.
Okay, before we get home, I'm gonna let BJ take over this. But hold on, let me just destroy certain arguments that's been made here. The fact that they have actual personnel actually saying, respect my pronouns, here's how I identify, is proof that the left has infiltrated the military as well as the actual CIA. We have actual people that represent the left that are in these positions. So therefore, we got proof that they're in there. Okay? Hold on. And one more.
Everybody respect people's pronouns?
Oh, I don't.
No.
If somebody asks you to call them by certain pronouns, you would refuse?
No, because I'd be doing more harm to them than good by feeding into their delusions.
It
I
depends
call
on
them the name they want. If they call me, if
I
I call
will
them a different
respect their
name,
name,
sure. I'm not
but
going to
yeah.
feed into their delusions.
And one last
Doing
thing
more
too,
harm than good.
and also too,
I thought conservatives
we
were
have
with that.
we have military individuals that are actually being deployed overseas. The notion that we're just fighting over the monitor is not true. As a matter of fact, and you guys can help me out, when I think Obama was in office, or when Trump was in his first year, we sent troops to stop Russia from coming into was it Chechnya, or they was trying to fuck with Poland. We sent actual boots on the ground, and you have Ukraine. We sent boots on the ground to help out Poland. So to sit up here and for you guys to say that they don't need muscle, it's just being disconnected. Go ahead, BJ.
No,
Yeah,
no.
well,
I got this.
No,
Listen.
I gotta hold on. I gotta like if you're gonna attack my argument, hold on. If you're gonna attack my argument, attack my argument
I'm
correctly.
going to do this right now, Archer. Listen, I'm going to defend you right now. Tree did the same thing to you that all of you guys just did to my argument and Jupiter's argument. She strawmanned your argument. You strawmanned our argument. Let's get something clear. Nobody, this is derail the whole argument if you keep on saying this. Nobody said the only thing we need to look for is strength. You guys kept on saying that. Stop. Listen, you guys kept saying there's other things we need to talk about. And I applied it heavily. I even mentioned that we is legally, you're allowed to give IQ tests in the military for a reason, because it's important to have people's IQ there and other situations which you're not. So no one said it's the only thing you need, so stop saying that. It is extremely important thing you need for combat roles, right? For other roles, it's a different story. The whole entire point is this, is that if you want to recruit for smart people, go have an ad and it's like, I was a nerd in college and all I did was study and no one likes me, but now I found the military and now I'm a super success. Do that ad. Don't do the ad where it's like, my transgenderism and I have anxiety and I want to kill myself, so I want to join the military.
When we were talking about the military in general.
I'm switching away from the colors.
The context of this though is the contrast. Wait, the context of this though is it's a contrast between the fucking Russians acting like the dude with his fucking shirt off, going, "Oh, dude, I'm such a fucking man, dude. Like I'm ready to go out fucking fight war, dude." Like we're talking in the context of that.
I'm saying Archer's jealous of the Russian dude.
I know. I want to finish my point real quick. The point to that, Archer, is that when it comes to recruitment videos, right? What is going to get men signed up for the military? And yes, it's mostly men. It's that badass Russian vibe, like, oh shit, I want to be a fucking badass. I'm 18 years old. I want to be a man. It's not going to be me and my lesbian wife who have crippling anxiety want to join the military, and you can too. That is not going to get people, because you guys even said those people are not joining the military anyway.
If they go through the same requirements, they're going through the same requirements as everyone else. If they pass the physical requirements, they pass the intelligence requirements.
Archer, you are not getting it. No one's talking about that. Wait, no, stop. Remember one thing. Archer keeps switching the subject. I'm saying the recruitment wise, why are you targeting that?
Hold on. Okay, BJ, then Archer respond. Then we're gonna get Jupiter. Then we're gonna get Cats. Okay, and that order, guys.
You guys keep switching the arguments, because now all some of the recruitment videos, now you're saying, oh, but if they pass the same standards, yes, that's completely true. We're not talking about that. I'm saying, why would you recruit for things that have no bearance and are probably a negative thing when you could recruit for something that is definitely a positive thing, which is the physical alpha male attitude you have? Is it more important in combat roles? Of course it is, but it's important in general. Being transgender, not important at all, and it's not going to be good for recruiting, because it's to make people not want to join the military. If you can pass the same standards, go, and you don't want to kill yourself, then please go right ahead.
The alpha male could actually be detrimental in some roles in the military.
Wait, hold on. All right, Premise. No, wait, hold on. All right, stop.
Being big and strong is detrimental.
Because BJ,
yeah,
I hate this
not everybody's a combat role, right?
No, wait, we're already arguing on a. We're in a corner that we shouldn't even be. Let's move the goalposts back to where they were. The whole thing was comparing how Russia is advertising their military. Have you ever seen how North Korea advertises their military? They look like gangsters. Meanwhile, they're all starving and they hate their lives. But you project strength because you want your enemy to see the strongest.
Because you have to see through that. You have to see through that. Like, seriously, this is all fucking smoke and mirrors.
Oh no,
for real. Like, it's a joke.
You guys love other militaries.
wait.
Where's the algorithms are embarrassing themselves?
I need Cass to go ahead and
fact didn't
respond
come
after
out.
Jupiter finished. So
Wait,
y'all,
you
when
Okay,
Jupiter,
after
I'm on your side. When Jupiter finish, y'all let Cass talk. Go ahead.
The whole argument was comparing and contrasting how we're projecting ourselves to our enemies versus how our enemies are projecting themselves to their enemies. And no one once said that everyone needs to be muscled up fucking marine grunts. No one said that. All we said is maybe if you're making a recruitment ad, which our enemies are going to see, maybe not be like, here's a list of my therapist diagnoses for me, and here's why I'm very clearly not equipped to be handling the nuclear football, and here's why they let me do it anyway. Maybe that's the point.
Oh no!
And Archer, can you
They
please?
don't do any of that, though.
Cats, no,
Cats,
remember Trump was blowing them just like you
go
guys,
ahead.
North
No,
Korea
stop, Cats.
Russia.
Go ahead, Cats.
You guys are acting. Is
Cats,
that
stop
good for
talking
the
over
enemy to
Cats,
get all that?
Grimace. Go ahead, Cats.
I feel like a lot of people are getting a little sidetracked by the fact that the contrast of Russia to the United States. Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck about Russia. What we're saying is that Russia is doing what we used to do. Look at our ads, like not even like 5-10 years ago. The point of a recruitment ad isn't to point out like all your grand strategy, like, you know, because the military is much more than just, you know, the people, but the spirit of the military, the kind of people that you want in the military overall are drawn to these ads. And most countries, period, not just Russia or China, but look at any country's military recruitment ads. What do they want? They want people that are strong of body and mind and spirit. They show people that are going to be sent into difficult places to do difficult things. And what are we showing right now? We are we are making a bigger point about finding people that have certain skin colors, that are that have certain genitals, people that have certain medical requirements. We are not trying to appeal to the strongest demographic, but we're not trying to draw in the strongest people into our military. We're right now trying to make the military into kind of like a social club, like, you know, an experiment of, like, you know, Instagram photos of like, look at how diverse we are. And here's the thing. The military at the end of the day is not about, you know, giving people from different walks of life a validation in life. It is about one simple thing: blowing up our enemies and keeping us safe. And frankly, the kind of people that are being recruited right now by not just these commercials, but in general, are not the kind of people that you want involved in the military at all. Period. Like,
wait, what if that person? What if that person knows nuclear science, and you're trying to appeal towards those?
The ad is not about that at all.
Like you need nuclear scientists in the fucking military. You need the fucking guy who can do the sonar.
Archer, recruit for
You're overly valuing.
No,
you're talking over Rafik.
Go ahead, Rafik. Go ahead.
About that at all. I think you're moving. Actually, I don't know. Arthur, are you jealous of that muscular dude?
Yes.
I mean,
because he can't stop talking about him.
What the fuck? I would perfectly fine with my fucking
You guys
game,
were
dude.
thirsting over them, and the for the introduction to this topic, it was kind of weird.
Hey,
artist stuff would not sell.
He's sexy as fuck. Get over it, goddamn it! All right, I regret nothing. Sorry, Rafik.
I can't believe I actually agree with what Grimace said right there.
This whole POA pickup artist manosphere stuff sells because there's a deep desire that some guys to be like that. It would not sell.
Yes.
You know, a lot of it is BS, but it wouldn't sell if there's not that innate desire. So, but if Archer says, you know, we shouldn't focus on muscle men, let's just send the pregnant women, let's send the fattest, steppest women as our Navy SEALs, as our Marines out in the front lines, you know, Tess Holiday, Lizzo, and let's send that crazy Lori actress who got triggered over diet ice cream in California, LA or somewhere. Let's just send them out, thank you, Debbie Lovato. Send them out since muscle's not important.
Be an anxiety disorder-ridden tranny. That's what I was.
You know what? If you were like, let's either make the military full of fucking Rambos who are just gonna run the fuck out, blindly fucking shoot, because they're all fucking muscle, all
Archer, it's a
versus
positive
having a
quality. No one
military
said-
that is
no,
that is smart. Because
Everyone's
you
told
guys are
10 times it's
valuing
not
you
all
guys
about the strength.
you
It's
guys are
important. It's not the
valuing
best,
muscle
important
and
thing.
alpha male mentality.
The good
Because
part-
No,
that's
it's
what
not really
wins
valuing.
wars.
Hold on.
That's what. Wait,
No,
wait,
You can
wait,
have
wait.
muscle
Wait a
and
minute,
have
have you seen
intelligence.
have you seen
There-
a
you
bunch
can
of
have-
alpha males in a fucking room? Like it's not your like if you're trying to fucking get a shit if you're trying to get the job fucking done.
Hold on.
Having a bunch of fucking alpha males you're not gonna get shit done. They're all gonna fight about what the fuck is the right thing to
Archer,
do.
hold on, Archer.
Every
Archer,
army
hold
for
on.
thousands of years
Hold
has
on,
made that sort of
Archer.
mentality.
Let's look at two groups. Let's test your argument here, okay? Who is more likely to survive on the front lines? A group of men from the RuPaul TV show? Or a group of men from...
That's not my argument. That's not my argument, though.
Because you're saying that muscle don't matter. Are you not? I don't want to...
No, I'm not saying that muscle doesn't matter. I'm saying that if you're trying to the military has to appeal to multiple different types of people.
No, they don't. They have to appeal to the best.
Muscle has its place.
Archer,
but
what
you
is the
need the
military
nuclear
for?
scientist. You need the person who can
Archer,
fucking
then-
read
then
sonar. And if
recruit
that
for them.
person,
Archer, recruit
if
for
that
them.
person thinks that they're trans, but they can do the fucking job and they can do it better than fucking John fucking Rambo, have the trans person do it. It's gonna
That's
make
not
the
even
military
physically
more
possible.
stronger.
Simple question for Archer. Archer, what video did you like better? The Russian one or the American one? Which one did you like better? The recruitment
You
video.
like the
They're
American
both
one.
pretty shitty, to be honest with you.
I mean, I like one a lot better. Which one do you like better?
I think they're both. I think they're
The
both
American one,
trash.
obviously.
Choose
What
one.
the
I care about
Choose
the
one.
meat and
No,
potatoes.
Choose
one.
one.
No
Archer.
talk, no action.
You
It's
gonna
just
stand the
all
Russian one
talk,
against
no
the US
action.
military?
Choose.
You need to all talk, no
Make a
action.
decision,
I
Archer.
can make the shit cake
Archer,
and make it
Archer,
look fucking
answer BJ's
delicious.
question.
I
No,
can
no,
make
no.
a shit
Archer,
cake and it
all
look
Archer
like.
keeps saying is
Answer
that other
BJ's
things are
question. You
important.
got to
No-
be committed to one. Come on. Go ahead and choose one. Which one did you like better?
Okay,
Ingenuous.
Okay,
I'll answer it. The American one.
oh my god! Like you're like, oh, which one do you like better? I don't really give a shit. I don't give a shit which one is better or not.
But we want to
Like,
see
it
how
doesn't matter.
honest you
That's
are.
fine.
Stupid video.
Just show how honest
The
you
Russian
are.
one.
Show how honest you are. Just
Castro
go
was good
ahead.
at that.
Go ahead and tell us which one you like better, because there's no such thing. I like both of them, or both of them are shitty. One is less shitty than the other. Which one is it?
Oh, probably the American one is better.
Okay.
They're
There
both
we go.
trash.
Thanks for the
They're-
honesty. Thank you.
Oh my god! See,
Thank you.
look.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Because
honesty.
what is
So
this
you're
about? It's a
jealous of the
recruitment video. It's a fucking recruitment
But who are
video.
you recruiting with that
Can I
video?
ask everyone
The
a
Russian
question?
video is such
Hold
a
on, hold
great
on,
recruitment ad. The other one is not.
Okay, hold on.
Can
Before
I
you
say
say
something?
something,
American
Cass, I want Cass to
citizenship
say
and
something.
joining
Hold on
up.
a second. Hold on. Archer, you know nothing about the military. Once upon a time, okay, but it's because of SJWs getting triggered. The slogan to the Marines was "the few, the proud, the Marines." Okay, that means that wonderful branch is not for bitch-made men to join. It's for the
Yes.
real men who can hang. We don't want no
Hey,
Transformers in the Navy SEALs. We don't want them as Air Force Rangers, Airborne Rangers. We want the best. And I'm sorry,
want them in bathrooms.
just like you gotta have a certain type of you have to pass a certain level to get into the military. The military is not for everybody. It's for the best.
Yeah, so you should have the best. If that best
Yeah.
is a fucking gay or trans person,
Yeah.
why does it matter?
Let me cut in real quick. Let me cut in real quick right here because it's really important what Archer is saying right here. That I don't think you guys are getting. Like the way the political climate is right now is that we have conservatives in the military and liberals or far left wokists against the military. That war is like a racket. It's all for profit. Yada yada yada. A bunch of nonsense, right? So, but a problem with the military is now that they're reaching like college graduate and educated Americans less, people with degrees, people with specialities, and when they have a recruitment video like the one in that video, they're reaching out to them. It's like, hey, the American military isn't just this big this big MAGA fest that you've been like pushed from the Fox News that anybody can join, right? Like
The military was
as long
never a
as you
MAGA
had some
fest.
value for us. we'll give you value. So like,
Okay,
I
hold on,
Military
I
was
do
never
cats.
understand
So-
Hold on, I gotta do cats.
the
Cats.
strategy behind it.
Sorry.
After Grimace. Go ahead, Grimace. I'm
I have a-
sorry.
I have a-
Did you finish, Grimace?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was about it. Yeah.
Go ahead, Cats.
I have a question for everyone. What does everyone think the military is for? Like, what do you think the average military person does? Your average military person, why do you think that there are such extreme physical requirements for all military personnel, regardless of which branch or what the work is? Whether you are a meathead carrying grenades or whether you're a specialist, either way, you require a certain amount of physical strength. Women weren't appropriate for frontline combat because they did extensive studies and found that the female body was more likely to suffer from extensive microfractures just from carrying the gear. Just from carrying the gear, not from being in combat. Transgender people, inappropriate for most military positions because of their extensive medical requirements. They can't be deployed for long
And
distances
suicide
and
rate.
without access to especially. Yeah, I mean, there's the classic Stone Moss comment, like, "Sir, we've already deployed the transgender military wing. What's the problem? They've already suffered 40% casualties." Like, there are some people that are just not appropriate for military work, no matter what kind of work it is. It's not just about you need a body to back up your brain, and you need a brain that is capable of doing complex tasks on a split second, not people that are obsessed with pronouns and people that have. I wasn't able to get in the military many
But
years
if
ago
that
because I had
person,
depression.
wait, like,
And
how
they
does
have
that
to
affect
handle,
the
like, high
military?
levels of stress. You have to handle high
If
levels
the
of
military
stress.
is focused on completing whatever fucking mission is required of them, if that person cares a lot about their pronouns, whatever, they're going to complete the
And
job
they're
the
not in the
best.
military.
Give them the bob.
How do
Why
you
does
handle
that matter?
stressful situations
jump
if they're
in?
concerned about their pronouns? How do you want to handle high level stress? You know,
Exactly.
like worry about being killed, attacked.
Okay, but you think, like,
stepping
do you
on
really
mine
think,
traps.
like, they're gonna
How
be in the
do
middle of a
physical-
fucking gunfight and the trans person's gonna be like, oh, did you just fucking misgender me? Like, what the fuck, and start shooting the people
they
on
got-
their
they got
side?
anxiety
Like,
panic
like that's
attacks.
not gonna
But-
happen.
Muscle people.
But they might have a
place-
huge anxiety issue
place
because most of them
importance
do.
on,
And
Like,
also,
they
when-
should
when
in
you're
a
life or death
combat
situation,
field,
you
the
need to go
last
into
thing you
it.
should be focused on is about your pronouns.
here's the deal.
Right.
Here's some scientific study. It has been scientifically proven that it is these type of people on the left that are mentally deranged, because we have shown that there's a thing that came out that says that liberal women, if any, I'll look for the receipts to prove it, suffer more from mental problems
More.
than anybody else. So why should
Can I
we
say who the
cater
best
to
group
the
is?
Yeah,
The
art.
best group. The best group that suffers the least amount is conservative women. It's not conservative men.
Wait,
Conservative
it's not
women,
suffering,
actually.
it's reporting, right?
And then the liberal
Let me go
argument
get
is
it for you.
they
Hold
just saw the stigma of mental health, and so the conservative women are just forced into the dungeon. They can't talk about their problems. Is the counter argument, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, wait,
great.
hold on. All
Let
right,
me
so
can I
Cat
come off
is
the
one of
topic?
the
Because
most-
No, it's fine. Like
Grimace,
you're
Cat
you're
is
going
one of
down
the most-
the right path. Is you just have to like
Katz is
state
one
it
of the most
clearly.
brilliant
Alright,
people
Joe,
that I know. And here, wait, real quick. Katz is one of the most brilliant people I know. I'd be totally fine if I was in the military on the front lines with him being the drone pilot, anything that had to do with intelligence, any of that. As long as my recruitment ad, and by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, he's gayer than a locker room at the Ice Capades. As long as our recruitment ad does, I'm fine with him being in the military. As long as the recruitment ad isn't like, hey, I'm Katz and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, that's not the projection. And what you guys are gaslighting us into is saying like, oh no, we hate gays and we hate women. No, but it's a fact.
Never said that.
Well,
I
you really
never
did
said
say
that
all
word
of
that
that.
way.
You also claimed that muscular people are somehow dumber, which is actually statistically less true. Muscular white straight males have
Wait,
one of the
who said
highest
that?
IQs on the planet.
Can I jump in?
Archer.
All right, that's going to jump
Are you
in.
kidding?
So, I mean, when it comes to the last comments, like I have concerns about women in combat roles. I have concerns about transgender people in any part of the military. But gay people, go ahead and serve just like the rest of us. Whatever your race is or your sexuality doesn't matter. And that's one of the beauties of things, right? When you're recruiting, I don't want you recruiting for more black soldiers. I don't want you recruiting for more gay soldiers because it doesn't matter. I want you recruiting for, as Archer's saying, all the other things you need, all the brainiacs, then go ahead and recruit for that. When it comes to these two recruitment videos, the physical, the Russian one is promoting a positive value. The other one's promoting, I think, a negative, but everyone else here would say an irrelevance value. And here's the most important thing, and this is a fact. So don't try to argue with this. The first recruitment ad would get way more people to sign up for the military than the second. The second is repulsive to most people who are joining the military. It's not going to get people who are swath of the left to join. And so when you're looking at both of them, it's like, we know the first one would be a way better recruitment ad, but the problem is that that's not what these videos are for. These videos are not for recruitment. These videos are for pushing an agenda they want people to know is that we are on the left now. We are on your side.
Can you have both types of ad campaigns? Can you have?
No, you can't, Archie, because the other one is ineffective.
Why can you have both?
What's the benefit? What's the benefit of the transgender shit?
Wait, if you just said though that like if we're trying to fill the best people for the jobs and like muscle has like a place in the military, but like you need the brainiacs to run
the military. You don't need brainiacs to fight on the front line.
We have different types of ads.
Archer, this is your first time back here. Archer, this is your first time back here. Stop putting words in people's mouths. I've been saying since the freaking beginning, this is about, if you want to recruit for brains, do that. This other ad is not doing that. It's recruiting based on transgender and the social ideology. So why do you keep saying that?
Can there be intelligent trans people?
They're recruiting for that. They're recruiting for that in the video.
Okay, then if they're smart,
they can be intelligent, athletic people as well, Archer. What are you talking about, Archer? You keep jumping to this idea that when I'm talking about smart people, go gay people can't be smart. No, of course they can. Stop recruiting gay people, recruit smart people. The ads are not about smart versus athletic. It's about athletic versus the social liberal agenda. And you
that's a false dichotomy you've created. That's a false dichotomy.
That's what the two ads are doing.
Guys are creating
that's what the two ads are doing.
No, you're saying
the ads are the athletic built versus the social liberal agenda.
We are recruiting weak, mentally ill people instead of recruiting strong, whatever.
That's what that ad
that's a false dichotomy because you can recruit for both. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Why would you?
Why would we want to? We don't want.
What do you mean? Why would we want to?
We don't want
to. Liberals care about things like this. Liberals care about diversity and including people and giving people a place to work if they want to do it, if they're able to do it. And the fact that the military at the moment has that stereotype, that stigma attached to it of just being a bunch of MAGA supporters, gun toting, whatever. An actual recruitment video like that reaches out and shows people that maybe the military isn't as bad as you thought it was.
You support a recruitment video it is supposed to be apolitical. You support a recruitment video that said we need more blacks and gays in the military. Would you support that? Like a recruitment saying we need more blacks and gays. I'm asking a question, Archer. I'm asking a question.
And instead of asking a question, can you actually agree or disagree with what I just said? Can you agree or disagree with what I just said?
You can do both at the same time. Which part?
That liberals have more education than conservatives, and that there's a stigma within the military. When we need skilled,
if you follow your logic, and they want diversity, then you're also going to have ads that say we need more blacks, we need more gays, we need more liberals. You're not supposed to do that because they would like.
I'm not sure why this is so hard for you. Let's just calm down for 1 second. Can you get behind the idea? Can you get behind the idea that the military can come up with a inclusive, diverse commercial to help recruit and open themselves up to people who are college graduates.
We don't care. We don't care who you recruit.
People who might be underneath the stigma. People who might be underneath the stigma. People who might be underneath the stigma. The people who might be underneath the idea that the U.S. military is a bunch of gun-toting idiots, right? Like they want to make sure that doesn't pervade when we have so many skilled people with degrees in this country.
I'll answer Grimace's question. Grimace said, hey, should this video, if it showed diversity, can't it be good to attract liberals? Any positive effects on liberals is going to have an extremely negative effect on conservatives. Okay? So you keep saying can't be positive? Because if I saw that as an 18-year-old man and go, I'm not going to fucking join the military. These transgender people who are talking about their pronouns. Well, I thought it was a strong thing.
But that is a weakness in yourself. Like, wait,
no, it's not. Listen.
Why the military wants such a weak-minded person to not understand what kind of motivation could go behind a recruitment video?
It's weak-minded to not want.
No, you're right. I actually don't want these weak-minded people who see everything in black and white. You're right. Actually, that's actually a good thing.
Hold on. That's been my entire point. This whole see things in black and white. The military has raised more black people than any other race out of poverty. No, it's true.
The military has nothing to do with anything. I agree. The military is good.
Diversity. Why should this diversity shit, Jupiter? You
the military has
diversity.
Listen,
The military running black
Let's
The
keep
people.
this
military
up.
has
Let's keep
always
this up.
been the military has
Excuse
been
me.
diverse for over 50 years. We don't need this fucking ad to bring
Yes.
more diversity.
Yes.
Y'all are so
Military
goddamn.
has been
Y'all are
the
so out of
most-
touch
the
with what's
military-
going
wait.
on.
The military has been the most diverse and the least diverse entity in our entire country. The most diverse racially and sexually, but the least diverse in terms of you're just soldiers. You're people serving your
Yes.
country. That's what it's always been about.
Yep.
When you start
You
bringing
follow
in
orders.
these stupid little fucking factions
Cass, you
and
can
all
go
your
next.
identity, black and white politics, that's when unity breaks down, division kicks in. And by the way, you say, no far lefty wants to join the military. That's not true. Our brass right now is very far left. There's a stand down order, and they're weeding out extremists with traditionalist and conservative views. The brass of our military over the last 10 or 15 years
So
under
what
Obama.
makes them far left?
Oh, wait. They are far left. They're self-avowed anti-white racist scumbags like Lloyd Austin who are running our military. They're doing witch hunts. Obama put in all these psychotic welfare type really fucked up programs into our military. It's broken down unity. It's broken the ranks down. People are quitting faster than ever before. It's actually at a rate faster than police in this country, if you could believe that shit. And the whole thing with bringing all this, I'm a black
is it
trans,
just Lloyd
blah,
Austin?
blah, blah. No, it's not just Lloyd Austin. I can look up all the other names. There's plenty of them. But bringing in all this, I'm a transgender, one-legged Puerto Rican, blah, 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 it breaks down unity. What you need is all ranks of life can come in as long as you're fit to serve.
You're
but
all
shut the fuck
equally
up and
scumbags
serve.
and follow
No,
some
I
orders.
agree.
And
No,
why
you're
can't the
absolutely
trans
right.
person
Okay,
wait,
Cass,
wait,
go ahead.
are
You
you
want to be excluded? You want to be excluding some
Cats.
people?
wait, can I just ask
Cats.
ask just one question? Ask just one question real quick. Is it
no,
like
I want
are
cats.
you
No,
okay with
cats. I want
these
cats.
trans
Cats.
people joining?
Cats. Go ahead, cats.
I'd
Because you
exclude
guys keep
myself from the
interrupting.
military.
You keep
I'm unfit
y'all
to
keep
serve.
interrupting cats, and y'all know Rafik, Phallus, and cats don't even have a loud voice. So cats, go ahead.
I feel like we're kind of getting stuck on two different ideas about the military. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The purpose of the military is not to be an inclusive organization. It is not to be a banner, some sort of shining beacon, like to show like everyone, like, look how great America is. That's not the point of the military. The point of the military is to be effective. And in order to do that, it's supposed to be apolitical and meritocratic. The idea that we would lower combat requirements specifically so that women could serve, whether or not you think it's a good idea ideologically for women to serve in the front lines is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is we are weakening the effectiveness of the military for ideological reasons, whatever they may be. The military is supposed to be a tool, not an ambassadorial branch of our society. The military, like, we keep talking about transgender people, talking about woke moms and things like that. Here's the thing: at the end of there is this weird false dichotomy between saying you either want apparently some dumb muscular white guy. Or it's like, well, why don't we get the smart people? Can't they be trans? Diversity has nothing to do with intelligence. Diversity has nothing to do with the ability to be a good soldier. The majority, we're talking about the military like it's a business. Like, these people are coming and they're sharing their perspectives, and everyone, they're exchanging bake sales. It's a hierarchical military command structure. It's designed to get the best people who can carry the heaviest stuff and shoot guns and explosives with the highest accuracy. Everything else is secondary bullshit.
Wait, should we get rid of? Should we just So following that same logic, should we just get rid of all conservatives in the military? If the military is supposed to be apolitical, if the military is supposed to be apolitical, then I don't see you guys jumping on the idea of getting rid of all conservatives.
Recruitment should not be the officer.
How is that disingenuous?
Because you're arguing with nobody. Archer, no, he's not. He said it should be apolitical. That doesn't mean that people in it should not be political, but the recruitment should not be political. The officers
you're literally going after a recruitment ad for people who are trans for being political. Yet, like when I ask you, okay, well, what about conservatives? Should we get rid of conservatives?
The ad wasn't about conservatives, Archer.
Archer, no, stop. Archer is not missing that. He's missing the point on purpose. It's different between recruiting and then having beliefs in the military. He said, should you get rid of conservatives? No one says you should get rid of liberals in the military. You shouldn't have any political agenda in your recruitment or in the officer position.
Why are you making strawman arguments?
Archer, hold on, Archer. Let's take, hold on. Grimace and Archer. Wait, Grimace and Archer. Wait, I got a scenario. I got it. Grimace and Archer. Let's turn it around. Let's see if you're consistent. Let's fucking see this, okay? We're gonna take that same ad. Okay, we're gonna take that same ad and we're gonna put a white male.
Why are you comparing these two specific ads?
Wait.
Can I please use the
I'm not. Hold on, y'all don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna say. Hold on a second. Listen, stop. Okay, we're gonna take the female ad that's catering to the gender pronouns and stuff like that on the left. Okay, all right. Let's see if you guys are consistent. What if we had a white man, blonde hair, he muscled down, bust through with fucking goddamn "Make America Great Again," got a hat, someone keep that shit flying. Well, you know what I'm saying? What if you come in there like, America, fuck yeah, we about to fuck shit up. And he's like, yeah, that's right wing, conservative only motherfuckers, that's how we gonna do that shit. Okay, would y'all still support the shit?
Because that's what the video seems like to us on the right. That leftist video seems like that.
If the military needs more people, if the military,
yes or no,
if it's going to prove the military, yes. Sure, why not? Okay. Sure, why not?
Okay.
No, I wouldn't, because that's specifically political. If he has a MAGA thing, or are you talking about if he just came in as like a good old boy?
Because MAGA is associated with a political ideology.
Grimace said this explicitly political. Grimace, here's the whole point, right? Is that a lot of things on the left are explicitly political, but you're not allowed to talk about it. We talk about pronouns. That's something I'm on the right completely disagree with. That's something that says I'm on the left. It is a virtue signal for the left. It's the same thing as saying I have a MAGA hat on by saying pronouns and all that other stuff.
She quoted
Are you saying
one
a
of the most
conservative
radical left-wing authors on the planet.
Isn't Caitlyn Jenner conservative?
Yeah.
No.
We don't support Caitlyn Jenner. We don't support Caitlyn Jenner.
Political. You could be a conservative and transgender.
We don't support Caitlyn Jenner.
Not to most conservatives, you really can't, or at least in a certain ideology, you can't. Like you could be a transgender person if you believe, hey, you shouldn't be able to force people to use pronouns, right? That's the sort of thing maybe you get away with.
Are there besides like the crazy shit going on right now? Are there people who are actually transgender who besides that could be any other political ideology?
I mean, we like Blair White, but the thing about it is, I'm gonna tell you, Caitlyn Jenner being transgender does not have anything to do with it. We're talking about Caitlyn Jenner.
The bitch in the video. The bitch in the video quoted one of the most left-wing. The bitch in the video quoted one of the most left-wing, radical, anti-white critical race theory authors, and said that she based her college application letter on it.
Right.
That's absolutely hardcore left-wing political.
And that's
Grimace. I have a question. So I'm gonna change what Tree said. Right. Here's the ad. The ad is coming. I believe in traditional marriage. And I don't want immigrants in this country. That's why I want to fight for the military to protect our country against all the globalists, right? That's not political at all. That was just the same ideas that we all like. Is that political? Of course it's political. You don't have to say MAGA to be political. You don't have to say Democrat Party to be political. That is a conservative ad, but it would never happen. Agreed?
Okay, go ahead, Katz.
I'd like to say this.
So I'm trying to envision this commercial. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we see.
Exactly. That's what we see.
Sure, but like people know that exists already. I don't.
Here's what I'll say though on the subject.
I have a problem like coming to the idea that like
it.
somebody who like chooses to be in like a conservative, like having all these beliefs, going through all of this stuff, and somebody who's just like a transgender person. If you want to attack the fact they use like an ultra lefty CRT person, yeah, I can agree with that. That's pretty dumb. But like besides that, there's nothing else political about that, right?
All the ideas are leftist ideas. Just like what I said.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just like what I said was all conservative ideas.
Go ahead,
Wait, why you guys get that hung up on it? Because like they can be completely right.
If I was
Right?
wearing a
They
MAGA hat,
quoted-
and I said, "Oh, well, it's just a MAGA hat." No, it's not just that she quoted this radical fucking leftist. It's that she quoted this radical fucking leftist, and that she based her entire college application. You can't just move on. Okay, fine. How about this? How about Me, I put a
Okay,
MAGA
fine,
hat
okay,
on
no,
and
no,
do
okay,
it.
fine.
Is it okay if it's just
I'll
a MAGA
completely
hat?
grant quoting the CRT author, but let's just remove that from the commercial. Is the commercial fine now?
No. Cats, go
What
ahead.
do you? What? Wait.
Can we
You
let
can't just
Cat speak
remove
for a
that.
second?
It's-
Hold
No,
on.
I'm not.
Okay.
You're gaslighting that. You can't just remove that. It's a huge
How am I?
part of
Do you
it.
know what gaslighting means?
Yes, she named her pronouns. Then
And
she
I
talks
just
about all her
agreed with you.
disorders. Then
I
she
just
names
agreed
it-
with you, Jupiter. Take the W, Jupiter. I just said I agree. Like mentioning like some far left CRT professor
Yeah,
is.
then there's nothing else to say. There was an agenda behind
Okay,
it.
so that doesn't matter that much to me, but I can see how it can matter to you. So my
Would
follow-up
just a
question.
MAGA
So this is the
hat-
W I'm giving you. My follow-up question would be like if we took that out, right? If we took that element out of this commercial, would you be fine with it?
Number one, absolutely not. But number two, to follow up, the reason for it is because that CRT author wasn't a small little
Okay,
hiccup.
just
The
don't
whole
engage
thing.
with
Wait,
that.
no,
Okay.
Grimace.
I just
Grimace,
agreed with
I
you.
am.
I just
Okay.
fucking
I
agreed
want-
with
I
you.
want-
I'll
Grimace,
answer.
Wait,
Grimace,
hold on.
I'll
Let
answer
me
your question,
answer. It's
Grimace.
easy. It's
Grimace,
easy. Wait, I'm
wait.
in the middle of answering
Okay.
it.
Can
Sorry.
we hold on?
She's-
When you
This
finish Jupiter, I
entire
want
little
Cats to talk.
Okay, this little Pixar thing they did, the style of it, the soft, feminine, animated style, saying her pronouns, using this author, it's all part of a greater message that they're pushing.
Blah blah.
Yeah, blah, blah.
The United States
We know what that
military
means.
literally made fucking ads on
Okay,
Twitch
stop,
streams
Cats,
for like
Cats,
fucking
stop,
gamers
Cats, stop,
on
Cats,
fucking
I'm doing
Call of
Cats.
Duty. It's
I am gonna
videos.
mute you
Oh
all. Go ahead,
my
Cats.
So this is what I will address this more to Archer. Like Grimace, I don't think this affects you as much, but just in general, I think it's fair to say, the reason why people have issues with trans people serving in the military, at the end of the day, it is not because of an ideological reason. It's because trans people are not physically capable of fighting on the same level as healthy,
Where's your
intact,
evidence?
non-trans. Because,
Where's your
dude,
evidence?
do you have any idea what hormones the
Okay,
replacement?
we're not
Wait,
talking
can
about
you
combat
post
roles.
me? Can you
It
post?
will
Can you
develop-
can you
combat
can you
roles.
send
We're
me?
talking about
Wait,
military
can you
roles.
send me a
They suffer from
scientific
mental
study?
disorders at 30 times the freaking rate.
Even
All I'm asking, I will concede. Just send me a scientific study.
That says
There is
what?
plenty of
That says what?
there's plenty of medical evidence about the fact that transgender reassignments, surgery, and hormone therapies do all kinds of crazy things to your body. But even
No. In
Even-
context to serving in the military.
Yeah, so there's a
They
mental
won't let
side
you-
effects as well. And puberty blockers, for example, don't allow you to develop in
Wait,
ways
stop
other people
going.
would.
You're going on to the wrong
Testosterone.
bears. Can you cite me a study? Can you
What do you
cite
want?
me
Wait,
a
hold on.
study?
Do you
at
hold
that
on?
moment,
You
but
ain't
I can
gotta
tell
wait.
you
No,
as a
forget the
healthcare
study. Forget the
provider.
study. Hold on. Forget the study. Archer, do you agree that men are biologically stronger than women?
Yes, that's biological
Okay,
fact.
so can a trans man outdo a biological man on the front line?
Specifically?
Well, wait. A trans
Generally,
man
maybe
versus a
not, but
biological man.
specifically.
Biological
I mean, sure.
woman
When it comes
male.
to physicality, sure.
How?
But
How?
like
how,
this,
how did- how
it's
did you-
beyond.
how did
But
you come
can
to-
the
if-
trans?
You just contradicted
But
yourself.
can
because
the
you just contradicted yourself because if you just admitted that that a biological man is physically stronger than a biological woman, then you just sit up here and contradicted yourself when you
Okay,
said
but
that a
can the trans man pass the base requirements?
I didn't ask that.
Maybe, but that's not the
No, I
point.
didn't ask that.
No,
I
but
said-
that makes a big
No,
difference.
it
That makes
doesn't.
such a
No,
big
it
difference
doesn't.
because that
No,
trans
that's not
man
my
could do a
argument.
really
That's not
could
my
do a
argument.
really
That's
good
not my
job.
argument.
That
You cannot
trans
tell
man
me what
could-
my argument is, okay?
That trans
you
man could
cannot-
do a
you
really
cannot
good
rephrase-
job somewhere else
Grab
in the
your nuts
military.
and take this L. You cannot rephrase my fucking comment. My comment is, if a trans man is on the front line with a biological man, is that trans man going to be able to physically answer the goddamn
is the
question?
military
Yes or
all
no?
about
Yes
front
or
lines?
no?
Is the
Yes or
military
no?
all
You
about
know
front
you're gonna
line
lose this
warfare?
argument. 'Cause that's why you won't answer it.
Is the
That's
military
you
all
won't answer
about
it.
front?
It's
That's
not.
why
It's
you
not.
won't
But
answer.
mentally.
No, because I
no,
did. What the fuck? No, I did
you
answer. I
didn't.
answered your
You
question. I said when it comes to
combat roles, yeah.
when it comes to
roles,
combat roles, the man is gonna have the upper
Thank you.
edge
That's
because
all I
they're
asked.
able to carry more. It's okay, but can that trans man go and
He's going
serve
to
as like a drone pilot, or
Can I
serve
jump in,
as a
Archer?
combat
Archer,
medic,
Archer, can
or
you
serve
stop
as a
yelling?
fighter
answer that
pilot.
question.
Stop
Archer,
yelling, please, please stop
Archer,
yelling.
do you agree or disagree that trans people have far more issues dealing with depression, anxiety, suicide,
Their
and may
medical
affect their
requirements
performance
are
in the military?
enormous.
Does that already exist in the military? Are there people who have depression who go into the military?
Oh, so
my
you
God.
take a
Stop,
bunch
man.
of
This
evaluative
already
tests.
exists in the
No,
military.
Archer, you
I
take a
have
bunch
to
of
finish
evaluative
this.
tests, right?
I have to finish this. Like, do you have any idea how much more expensive, not even talking about ethics, taking care of a transgender person is than taking care of a non-transgender? The hormone medication alone, which they have to take on a regular basis, or they experience wild problems, including mood swings, inability to sleep, tumors, like all kinds of secondary infections. Transgender people are a problem for the military because regardless of ideology, they are more fragile medically speaking. They require constant medical attention if they're actually engaged in the process. And frankly, the military is not for that. You're not even supposed to be able to get into military, at least traditionally, if you even have like a depressed issue.
Yeah,
You know,
you're not
I
supposed
remember
to.
when I was
If you're
18,
mentally
I
weak, you're not
applied.
supposed to be able to get in there.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to get in into the military when I applied. Went to a recruiter when I was 18, and they said that because I took medication for anxiety, I was not appropriate for the military. That's changed now, but here's the thing: you can't be on the front lines, or not even the front lines.
I'm
just
not
deployed in
saying
the field.
being on the front lines. I'm saying the trans if the trans person went to college
any position.
for nuclear
Any
science
position, not front
and
line,
then
not
joined the
front line.
military and then
Any
joined the
position, yeah.
military as a
They're just too
nuclear
expensive.
operator, like just have that trans person be the fucking
they're-
nuclear
Okay, I
operator.
have a question for you, Archer.
There's no
How
reason to
about
have
this?
them.
For any role, right? If you're gonna have a bunch of women, right, and you're gonna have transgender, born male, not that they're female, right, who want to sleep in the same barracks, who want to use the same showers, do you think it might cause a little bit issues personally between people? Like these women who say, I don't want this dude showering with me. I don't want him sleeping in the same, hall as me.
Especially if she suffered from sexual trauma.
Well, fucking,
We already have a sexual assault epidemic in the military. Apparently, I don't
why
know much
are
about
you?
it.
It's this.
That's what they say.
This just seems like you're making extra fucking steps for trans people.
No, this is
No,
what
this is a real
this
thing.
is practical things.
This is
practical.
Asher, hold on.
This
Right
is the
now,
day-to-day.
that's an issue. Are you serious? Right now in jails in the UK, as well as they have in shelters.
Yes.
Okay, the biological women don't want these people in there for their own safety and mental health issues, because the fact is they have been violated sexually in the shelters, and they don't want to have to look at the actual organ that violated them. Now, when it comes to the UK prisons, okay, there have been numerous, I will have to count 3 and I can get you the receipts, of trans women who have sexually assaulted female inmates. To sit up here and ignore that, it's just being disingenuous.
Well, that's kind of being disingenuous to say that I'm ignoring people who are getting sexually assaulted. Like, you make accommodation. You can make accommodations. Like, you're acting like this shit is black and white.
Yeah, special
the military is not for accommodations. The military is not for accommodations.
And Barack Obama.
Okay.
Barack Obama
so we should get rid of women in the military because we'd have to make accommodations for them.
You're saying we should make accommodations for people who have mental issues, who are going to require more medical health just to appease liberals. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Would we
all
do
these
that
negatives for what
people?
positive?
Would we allow suicidal people in if we had to give them special accommodations?
If they were nuclear scientists, maybe we could allow
dug your own grave with that comment, since vets have the highest suicide rates among adults. I don't know what to tell you.
I have a better one. Should we alter the physical requirements of the military to allow people that are double amputees in wheelchairs?
No, that's never been my argument. That's never been my argument. But what I said is, if a trans person, if a trans person completes the base,
for no reason, no benefit,
if the trans person can pass the psychological test, the trans person can pass the physical test. If they're best suited for a role, Why not just give it to them? Let them do
Because
it. They
they're
want.
expensive.
Because it could be over $100,000 alone for their medical treatments. One of
Okay,
which,
for
by
it.
the
We're going
way,
into
on
something
their
else.
insurance.
No, like
But
it just
that
seems
is
like
No,
the
like-
exact argument. The transgender people are inappropriate for the military.
you know what, but you know what?
Because they're
Regardless,
frankly
they're
bad
fucking
investments.
patriots.
Each soldier is an
They're
investment.
fighting. They put on that uniform. They fought for the
It's nothing
country.
about
They
their
should be
patriotism.
entitled
man.
to those
This is, like,
benefits.
bad.
It has
Oh,
nothing
no,
to do
no,
with
no,
Heresy
no,
at
no.
this point.
It has nothing to do with patriotism. It has to do with how effectively they
Archer,
can
you
serve
want
their
you want
country.
your
And if they
tax
can't
dollars
serve their
going to
country
sex
effectively,
reassignment
then
surgery?
no.
Archer, you want your tax dollars going to sex reassignment surgery for transgender people in the military?
Wait, say that. Wait, what did you
Do
say?
you want your tax dollars going to sex reassignment surgery for people in the military?
I don't
Yes or
care.
no?
They
How do you
serve
not care
in
about
the
that?
they
Very
How do you not
serve
care?
in the
Very
army.
libertarian.
They
That's a
serve
big
in the
cost.
army. They're entitled to fucking benefits for
I don't.
serving.
They get plenty of benefits. I don't think that's one of
Has
them.
anyone here served in the United States
You know, we
military?
actually
I
we,
don't, but I'm allowed. I give tax dollars to them. And I don't
hold
want
on.
my money going to
That's
cut
what
out
we
teenagers.
need because
should be
hold on.
entitled.
I wish maybe we'll have this next month. I don't know, but we need an actual military person in here because there's a lot of assumptions on your part, Archer, where you're thinking that all trans individuals want to fly drones. You know what I'm saying? That's just an assumption. And I don't think you understand that.
Never said that.
No, you was like we said the combat and you was
said they
like, well,
could.
you did go to the drones part. Well, what if we just have them intelligent enough
I'm
to fly drones?
My
There's plenty-
argument
there's
is
plenty
if
of
they
positions
can
in the
do
military
a
that are
job,
non-combat.
if they
Most
can do a
positions in
job
the
and they
military,
can
yeah.
do it well,
Most
let
positions
them
in the
do the
military are
job.
non-combat.
Why are we
Archer,
stopping them
Archer,
from
stop.
doing it? It hurts our military.
We're getting sidetracked. Listen, at the end of the day, yes, you're right. The majority of positions in the military are non-combat, right? We kind of switch to the whole entire thing. Should they be in the military in the first place? The real issue is this. They're not really that much in the military. There's a small minority population. They're not going to the military. So we need to actively encourage them to come to the military. I don't see why the fuck we should when there's other positive qualities we can look for instead of the negative ones that end up costing us more and have all these other issues that we've talked about here. We're pointing out potential negatives. You've not given me a potential positive besides the fact by saying maybe they're also intelligent, then recruit for intelligent people.
No, what I'm saying is
Or
if
recruit
that
for transgender
trans
people.
person, if this hypothetical trans person has a degree in a specialized field and wants to become an officer so
Recruit
that
for
they
those
can that they
degrees.
can use their degree to better enhance the military,
Recruit for
then
those
let
degrees.
them do it.
Okay, good. Then recruit for those
Why
degrees.
should they be
Why are you
higher
recruiting
based
towards
upon
the
being
transgender
trans,
people?
though? That's the thing. You're taking jobs
Why is
away
that-
from
why is that a
blacks.
good
You're
thing?
taking jobs
Because
away
there are
from
probably
actual
there
women.
there are smart trans people who are capable of doing the job that
So
that,
there's
that,
no
that
smart
aren't
people.
getting
There's
tapped
no
smart
into.
black
You're
people.
repeating
There's
yourself because you're being.
There's no smart black women that can do the job either,
Yeah,
Archer.
yeah, absolutely.
Archer,
Are there not
you're
ads
repeating
that
yourself because
recruit
you're being
to those?
hard-headed. Archer, you're being hard-headed every time
What
you
does
repeat
Alex
yourself.
think about
And you're
this?
you're responding to our arguments here. You keep saying if they're smart, then recruit for smart people. I keep saying the same thing. You're not responding back to me. Why recruit for transgender people when you could recruit for smart people and get them
Okay, so
anyway?
why recruit for muscular men?
That's a positive quality that we need in the
Because they can
military.
lift the
No,
gear.
we don't.
Archer,
No,
you
yes,
don't.
we do.
Hold
We
on,
do
Archer.
need-
You know, hold on.
That is
I gotta
so-
make
that is
I gotta
the
make an
most- wait,
announcement.
I gotta-
You commenting on.
Oh.
Hold on. No. Seriously. You know, I bet you people who are in the military listening to you downplay muscles and physical strength is how I feel about people as a former police officer when people want to talk about how police officers should basically reform to and not should shoot somebody in the leg. You're speaking out of ignorance because you never served in the military, and therefore you're saying a lot of stuff that none of us on here can even speak from experience
But
and
that's
counteract.
the thing. He understands this, Tree, because he keeps saying, "Oh, of course it's important for combat rules." He keeps saying it, so he already knows it's important for many positions in the military. So that's why it's something we should recruit for. Transgenderism is not something that's positive for anything. Smart people
Wait,
are,
do you think
and
they're
go recruit for smart
recruiting
people.
I gotta
with
run
that
real quick.
commercial?
Can I just log out real quick?
That commercial in
I
particular,
gotta
I'm
run a
these
little early.
commercials, but any sort of SJW agenda, any of those things are not things that are positive attributes, whether it's transgenderism or whether it's the pronoun thing or whatever it was. Again, I
Guys,
forgot which
wait,
video
hold
it
on,
was.
For
wait.
anybody who's
Curtis,
actually
I gotta leave.
looking at it, you just see somebody recruiting for somebody
Talking about pronouns?
who might be underneath the impression that the army is under.
Are they
is
talking
one
about
type
pronouns
of
there? Are they
person
talking
who
about
goes there,
pronouns?
when in fact there's all
Jupiter's
kinds
gotta
of
go.
people. Who
But
can
you
go
They're talking about
disagree that
pronouns and they're
it's
talking about
catering to the
non-binary,
left,
transgender.
though.
Tree
You agree that they're going to the
Jupiter's
left,
gotta go.
huh?
Tree, real quick. I gotta
sure.
run.
Oh,
Real quick.
sorry.
Make sure, if you guys could, check out the YouTube, obviously, with me and Cats. It's Jupiter on YouTube.
You already plugged yourself 3 times.
and go to BitChute as well. But love you guys. I really appreciate it. I have to run early tonight for once, but this has been a pleasure. And Archer, Lord help you. I don't know what happened to you.
I grew
That was
with
rude. Wait.
I
I'll
from
give you a chance to
smooth
call me
brain
an
to
asshole.
a rough 5 brain, dude.
Just a moderate.
Like,
I don't know.
like legit.
I'm actually
Like, I don't
happy for
believe
you.
in
You got some
like
backup.
literally. If you were, I don't even believe in the gender theory. I think a lot of it's full of shit. But it's like it's coming down to this argument where it's like, okay, whatever, just let him fucking serve. I don't understand why you have to.
Go ahead.
Okay, but why recruit for it? Why
Jupiter, go
recruit
ahead.
for
Bye
those
bye,
shit?
sweetie. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
by.
so much.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thank
All
you.
right, bye, Jupiter.
Bye.
Also, Tree,
Archie,
it's worth
your
pointing out that
whatever attitude is what we don't need from Republicans, and like, okay, let the left do whatever they want. No, we have to fight back against bad things
hold
that they did in the military. Actually, we can't just let it happen.
What's that,
Tree,
Cats?
you'll see.
I disagree with the premise.
Yeah,
like,
you can make the exact opposite
Can
argument.
y'all let Cats
we
speak?
need conservatives to stop being so ignorant.
Stop. Let's.
Yossi 1961 says that I think he was the one that said he was a vet and that he'd be willing
He
to
did.
talk to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Gregory Morris.
Bring him on right now.
Gregory Morris says he's a vet too.
Okay.
Gregory Morris.
I
as well.
Yossi's not really good with the computer, but Gregory, do you have
Just
a
pointing
mic?
it out.
Those of you who are saying you're in the military, you have to have your mic ready, and I can.
Wait, why does being in the military have to do
Because
with
they're
any of this?
speaking
Because
they're speaking from experience. Just like remember when I said earlier, I said
Wait, are we doing the identity politics thing?
no.
It's not identity politics.
No, it's
it's
not.
experience.
It's
a little bit
experience.
disingenuous, though. If you bring on a conservative,
Can we
in the fucking
This is my
military,
problem with what's going to happen right here, Tree, is that like somebody's going to come on it with an opinion about how the military works and how it should be going. And that's fine. And then, but what are we supposed to take from that? Aside from the fact that I can find a liberal person in the military and have them say the exact same the opposite thing, right?
I'm explaining. I already said this earlier. You probably was arguing with BJ to hear me. What I was saying was the way you all, and I'll put myself in that, the way all of us are talking about the military without any military background or experience is how I feel when I hear people say, well, why you didn't shoot him in his leg? I have police experience. So when we hear people say stupid shit from the left talking about something, why don't we bring guidance counselors or therapists to domestic violence calls instead of the police? I just look and shake my head because it's the most dumbest, retarded shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. And
That's fine, but you don't need to have a cop to understand that. So you don't need to have had police experience to understand that. Like, why didn't you shoot him in the leg?
What?
If you have access to real information, just Gregory and Yossi are both on their phones.
I'm just gonna say this just feels like, right, that like this is gonna bolster your argument because if you're gonna bring on someone who's conservative and someone who's a vet. It's just gonna like.
Okay, how about this? Okay, hold on. I'll do this. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'll bite that bait. How about this? I'll get somebody who's a centrist. That way, you all can't say, I am getting somebody that supports my argument, our argument, or your argument. What we're doing is we're getting someone who's going to talk about the military. Because what you guys don't seem to understand, one thing I understand as an outsider from the military, and the only reason I understand this is because I seen Full Metal Jacket. When the gunny was cussing out everybody, he used derogatory names. He even used the N-word. He said, you all don't matter to me. You're all equally worthless. And all I see is you guys paying attention to identity politics when that is not supposed to be the case in the military. We're all supposed to fight as one unit. It doesn't even matter. And all y'all talking about is trans this and woman's that and this, that, and the other. No, it's supposed to be
you're
one
trying to exclude them.
Don't focus on our differences.
Senior
Everyone's
officers
at front
saying
and the
without
day
having
to
an
follow
opinion of
orders.
themselves, but we want to have
and
their
that brings them
opinion.
together.
Listen, I my only thing is like if this is to bring someone on to bolster an argument, Like I'm just like
Boast
like
of what
it just
argument? Boast of what argument, Archer? Because it sounds like you want to back away now. Because now we're going to bring somebody that actually has
nobody
an
wants to tell
experience.
someone in the military that they're wrong, right? Like to their faces while they're
Hell yeah, John McCain
like,
was still
you're-
alive. I tell that motherfucker he wrong. I don't respect everybody just because they're a vet. Okay, there's a lot of vets I can't stand.
that's fine,
Onision bitch ass is a
but
goddamn vet.
I don't try because this person has more of an emotional investment in these institutions than I do.
Okay, can you get Black
That's
Rifle
true.
on here to satisfy everybody?
Who's that?
Can you get the Black Rifle people on here?
Tree, this
can you
is
get the Black Rifle people on here to satisfy.
Yeah, because the Black Rifle people are liberals. How about that? Y'all want some?
What? I don't see why. How do you guys not see this? Like, I can get somebody from the military who's going to give you the exact opposite opinion. Like, just the fact they started in the military.
Do you understand it? Because
I'm just saying.
we're speaking from.
Bring him on. I'm just saying.
I thought you were against this identity politics, lived experience
Grimace,
nonsense.
The thing about it is that listen, let's because you're taking yourself out of it. You know a lot about plants, okay? You are a professional about plants. How the fuck can I sit up here and say, all you got to do is put a little bit of water on it, just walk away and come back every 3 days? I know this because I've seen it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm arguing from ignorance. And here it is, you're the fucking professional. And therefore, if I really want to know the truth about plants, then I would bring your ass on. Correct?
But not
or am I
necessarily.
incorrect?
Somebody else could tell you as well. And
So
by the fact
somebody
I'm not
else
some
who's
kind of
also a
botanist, I'm
professional-
not an expert. I just water plants from time to time.
So somebody else who's basically you admit that somebody who has a professional or who has a water experience in nursery, right?
I'm saying even if you're a botanist or if you're not a botanist, you can know what a botanist knows to make
If I don't know,
like
if
we're
I
talking about
being
listen,
sidetracked.
that not everybody has
Yeah.
access to, but we're talking about
Grimace,
information that we all
Grimace,
have access to.
Grimace, if I never watered a goddamn plant and I don't even have one in my house, how the fuck can I sit up here and tell anybody else what a plant is supposed to, how to take care of a plant? Wouldn't it be credible? Wouldn't it be credible to have somebody?
I don't know everything about plants.
I'm gonna argue.
But
I'm
you know more than
gonna
me,
argue
don't
with Tree. I'm
My
arguing with
Monstera is
Tree.
like dying
I
right
got
now.
you,
But
Grimace.
you know more than me,
Tree,
don't you?
Tree, are you telling me that men can't have an opinion on abortion because they can't have babies? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That's your argument. Listen, Grimace, I understand your argument. You could like just because someone has experience, something doesn't mean that their opinion trumps yours to a certain degree. When it comes to
But it's
this,
still
like
valuable.
I kind of agree. No, especially when it comes to Tree's example, actually makes a lot of sense, right? If someone knows a lot about plants, and I don't know shit, I shouldn't be talking to them and act like I know more than them. When it comes to the military, it's be their experience, and it comes down to ideological ends as well. Because at the end of the day, you don't really know what it's like to go in to combat the transgender soldier until you do, and not many people have any.
Listen, I just don't want to get canceled by the right when I confront a veteran on their
You're here
conservative
in
takes
good
on the
faith.
military.
You're here in good faith. So as long
Wait,
as
what
you're
does
not
that
arguing-
matter? I'm going to be accused of stolen valor, all kinds of nonsense. I know how it works.
How
over
would
with
you be
guys.
accused of stolen valor? You're not pretending to be in the
That-
military.
He hates the military.
That's
He
what that
supports
means.
Al Qaeda. That was more of like a 15 years ago.
I mean,
thing.
Joe Biden supports Al Qaeda.
Grimace, you're guilty of many things, but stolen valor. is
Oh
not
no,
one of
no,
them,
I'm not
and
going
I
to
don't
say I'm
think
going to
anyone
steal some
would.
valor. I said I'm going to get accused of stolen valor.
No, you're not.
This
I know,
is like
Accusations are facts.
Most of them are on this panel.
Whenever you argue with someone who's like who claims military credential, it always comes down to that. If there's a
No, it's
disagreement.
not, because as long as you do
Well,
not
I mean, at the
claim
end
to
of the day,
be
we're
a
just trying
vet
to hopefully get some-
or claim to have served in the military, there is no valor to be stolen because you never made that claim.
So
I
hopefully
agree
we
with
can
you.
get
I'm not saying it's logical or reasonable. I'm talking about how these conversations always end up going.
We don't think like the left. That's something they do. They take something that's not
I'm
there.
literally
and
talking
make-
about the right when I make that conversation. When I make that comparison,
We don't
didn't have
do
to have
that.
a
Were you able-
time.
We don't do that.
Were you able to find anyone, Tree?
I mean, right wing SJW.
No, I
too
mean, I
does.
decided not to because first of all, Archer walked off and Grimace is basically just tripping, and so they're triggered by that. So I'm like, they think I'm going to bring some conservative
Fine.
military.
Bring him on. No. Bring him on.
Well, maybe
Okay,
maybe it
just
should
bring
be
him
more
on.
prepared for since it is last minute.
Yeah,
so.
it is last
Hey,
minute.
speaking about stolen valor, let me show you guys my new truck. What's up? I got a matte green American
Oh,
flags over the
God.
place.
Oh.
Every single time I get in the car,
Bougie.
oh, when did you serve? I'm like, ooh. They support you guys.
How much did that cost? Jesus.
I got this cool little logo over here
Yeah.
on top of my head. What's up?
Mm.
Yeah, how much did it cost? Don't
Man,
worry about it.
being
You have
poor
to,
fucking sucks.
if you have to ask, you can't afford it, bro.
Now, if
Wait,
you want to
is that a
help,
Raptor?
if,
Is that what I'm looking at?
if
It looks like one, but it's not. It's F-150
Like a pickup truck.
XT trim, but I
if
obviously
you
upgraded it. But
if you want to raise some funds to help pay for that, you should probably do like an Instagram calendar where you just model on it shirtless.
it was a used truck, and I put a nice little wrap on it. But
Take some fucking handouts, dude.
Oh
Fuck.
my
see,
God.
I brought
Hey,
Archer back now.
Yeah, I
There
don't
you
have
go.
to. Let me tell you something. Y'all ain't got to give no financial advice to BJ. He has gotten a huge ass deal from a person and from a mansion. You know what I'm saying? So
Top of my furniture.
Tree,
I thought you were saying because my last name buried you. That's why you
Tree,
don't have
do
to give me
not
financial
interfere with my
advice.
plan to get Bear Jew to model shirtless. Like, this is not anything you need to interfere
well,
with.
how about we just
Almost
pretend
summertime.
he's not changing his goddamn shirt again, and then he'll
Wait,
probably.
You didn't
And
see
sweaty
his
over here.
OnlyFans page?
I've never
Oh,
seen
that, you're supposed to talk about that.
I didn't know there was an OnlyFans page. There's an
I was supposed to
OnlyFans.
be Archer. I tell you that.
Someone send me the goddamn. If someone doesn't
Where
send
do
me the
you
goddamn
think that
link,
Bear Jew's
there
making the
will be
big bucks, all
So
right?
messed up.
there will be blood if I do not receive the link to this page.
I beat you in a couple arguments. Now you want to tell my secrets. Fine.
All right,
Are we in?
go ahead. Did you
So
say
Y'all
something,
need
I have
Felix?
water.
15 minutes left, and I gotta go.
Okay, yeah, we about to wrap
Y'all
it
need
up.
water.
Uh,
Because y'all thirsty.
go ahead.
I am thirsty.
I'm gonna let you guys do 2-minute closing, and we're gonna start off with Felix this time.
I'm never going to be able to join the military, therefore my opinion doesn't matter on it. But as long as they have attractive men in their ads, I'll support that.
Russian or American military.
No, I don't like. Okay, the reason why I didn't like the Russian was because they were bald. I'll be completely honest.
Most soldiers are
It
bald.
reminded me of my father, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I thought they shave you bald when you're in basic training. I thought that's just to make
They
you look
do.
like everybody else.
They-
Yeah, I
they
love
do,
bald
but
men are sexy. I
de-individualizing
mean,
you.
but to each his
Wait,
own.
does anyone know what they're saying in that video? Because like, there's no like, I have no fucking clue what they're
I
saying.
don't really care,
No, it's
really.
funny if they're sitting there.
There could literally be like a troll gay porn fucking site for all we fucking know.
Archie, you know what? It was probably
Not what I'm
like
familiar with.
Lyrics to Ram Ranch.
they're working out. It's like inclusion is the most important quality of the Russian military. Diversity is a more of an SJW message.
Hey, you don't know if that guy's Siberian. Hey, there's a filter on that shit.
I joined the Russian
Okay.
military in order to. I joined the Russian military in order to break down pronoun barriers, so the transgender Russians could serve the greater motherland.
Go ahead, Grimace.
No, you guys are stupid as gender. For fuck's sakes, dude.
And his gender. Oh my goodness.
Grimace, go ahead with your 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, a question was asked earlier, like what's the better commercial? It's obviously the American one, right? If we look at Russia as like a country and organization, like we don't want to be like them. We don't want to run our military the way they do. The fact that we can sit here and recruit trans people into the military, that we can talk about diversity and things like that, and try to get those people into the fold as well, into our military, I think is a good thing, and it shows just how powerful we are. And we shouldn't actually give a fuck. We shouldn't feel insecure about it when we talk about things like this. We can also have recruitment videos that do the fucking commercial that I love, the Marine guy fighting the dragon. But we can also try to recruit other people. Like the Army has to recruit. They're going to recruit the best way they know how. And I agree that we shouldn't be getting politics into it. And that CRT author, I must have missed that part in the commercial. And if that's the case, yeah, that shouldn't have been there. But yeah, like I don't know. There's been this like this line drawn between us that everything's like right or left. If it's left, if it's right, if it's trans, it's left. If it's guns, it's right. Like we need to get past this. Like we're all Americans. Like we should try and get everybody into the military and know that they also are a part of America and are eligible to serve, no matter their like political opinions.
Okay. All right, let me reset. Okay, Archer, your turn.
Yeah, you know what? I just think if a trans person is able to serve in a particular role and like they're an under like they're not very well I don't want to say represented, but like they're not very much involved in the military. So like that is a market that the United States Army can tap into that can provide resources in their skill and intellect that can benefit the United States Army in multiple different ways. It doesn't have to be combat roles. It doesn't have to be purely combat roles. And I think if it betters our United States military, they could get the job done, and they're willing and able, and they're patriots. Absolutely, they should be in the army, and I support them 100%. American patriots.
All right, Rafiq, your turn.
The military has never always been MAGA. I mean, I know that some blacks have joined to like, better their lives, but then also the whites who usually join tend to be more patriotic, especially I guess that Midwest Southern, Southeastern demographic. But it was really the military is like has to function as one unit, not like, be concerned about their pronouns and genders and whatnot. And the thing is, you can have people who are like very educated but so ignorant and lacking common sense in these matters. So the American ad was just propaganda for LBGT. It was not about trying to recruit the best of the best. It was not trying to get the most qualified to be in the military. Because I mean, all of us, I mean, pilots included, I'm sure the military could find a role for all of us because we can't. I'm sure that we're not Navy SEAL quality, maybe except for Big Bad Bear Jew, but yes, the military could probably have a function for all of us. But that ad was not about that. It was about promoting an agenda, and that's why it sucked. And the Russian one was just kicked ass. That's all I have to say.
All right, BJ, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just say shortly that I think that millennials, especially Generation Z, has this attitude with the military that it's not really. I mean, I think our background feeling is not really for our defense. It's out there fighting kind of pointless wars, as we kind of group around that with Iraq and Afghanistan. Military has really important functions that people don't talk about. One of the most important is protecting the world's trade routes. The American Navy has an extremely important role in that regard, and many others. But my point is that if we view the military as kind of pointless, just a way for some people to get some benefits through college and then some military industrial complex with money off them, then it doesn't really. Who cares who joins the military? But when shit hits the fan, and shit will hit the fan next couple of years when China becomes the world's global superpower and they start making advances into our trade routes, into the South China Sea, then we have to really care about these things. Right now, who cares who's in the military? It's not really that important. But it will become extremely important soon, and hopefully people actually want to go based just on merit and absolutely zero on anything else.
All right, and Cats.
I think that the military recruitment ads, it's easy to point to the Russian ads or Chinese ads or anyone else and say that, we don't want to be like them. I'm not saying that the kind of people that they're going to recruit through these commercials, assuming they appeal to anyone, because I really don't think, I feel like they're chasing after a recruitment population that may not necessarily exist. Most people that are who are attracted to the whole I have two lesbian moms and these are my pronouns and everything is soft and fluffy, I don't think those are the kind of people that are going to make it into the military, because they'll go to even a watered down boot camp is probably going to wash most of them out. I just feel like it's a waste of time to try to go after soft people for the military, because the military is not daycare. It is not a soft place for, it doesn't matter how patriotic you are if you're not made of stern enough stuff to actually do the job. And the job will remain no matter what the current regime is. As Bear G was saying, we need people to be able to do the job, because we are going to be challenged in a way that we've never been challenged before. And frankly, I don't think that non-binary people are going to be able to make it into the military. And if they do, not non-binary specifically, but the kind of people that are drawn to these soft, fluffy millennial Zoomer Instagram ads, like assuming that they do somehow make it past, maybe they can be molded into something stern and hard that can actually do the job. But what I fear is more likely is that they're going to just water down the requirements in the name of diversity, and then we're going to end up with a bunch of useless recruits who will crumble under the smallest amount of pressure. And God help us all if those people are filling the ranks.
All right. Okay. Oh, good. You guys are gonna be leaving right on time too. So, before I leave, I will say that I probably would like to have a discussion in reference to the generation. I'm Generation X, and I really don't really have that much respect for Generation Z. It seems like this the weakest generation in humanity. And I really feel for them
You
because
gotta give them a chance.
They're very divided as well. Like some of them are.
yeah, I really feel sorry for them. I really do. And we will outlive you guys, and that's really sad.
Represent.
Okay, but either way,
Hey, the TikTok generation.
this was a great panel. We all had a I love how we all get heated and we all just like laugh afterwards. I fucking love that shit so much. But I want everybody to check them out. I want everybody to do their signage out, and then you can go ahead and leave. I'm probably going to stay on the stream for another 15 to 20 minutes. But thank you guys so much for coming. I love you all like you're my brothers. And we will do this again the third Sunday of next month. Hopefully there won't be any more, controversial international wars. We're so sorry Trip didn't get a chance to get in on this, but I'm sure he'll be there next time. So let's start off with Cass, then go down to BJ, and then go around. Okay, so go ahead, Cass. Do your little outro, and that's that.
Hello and goodbye now. I'm rcatsgay, ? You can find me on Twitter where I'm most active, mostly being frustrated. I have a YouTube channel, rcatsgay ? And Jupiter and I have a podcast, Kaggot, Kaggot, which is partially on YouTube and increasingly on BitChute because YouTube doesn't let us upload all our episodes because I guess we're a little too spicy.
Mm-hmm.
So check us out on Twitter, YouTube, and BitChute.
All right. BJ?
Big Bad Bears, you find me on Instagram, YouTube. I'll probably be on an upcoming podcast of Kaggot, done with my friends Gay and Jupiter. I haven't been invited yet, but
you have always you have a standing invitation whenever you
awesome.
want.
So we'll probably get that thing going soon. All right, I gotta run. My wife going out dinner. Peace out.
Peace out. Okay.
At 10 o'clock at night.
Rafiq, go ahead. Your turn.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at rjennings333. Actually, this whole that war conflict. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen the protest in New York City and in London. I think London was really off the tangent.
Mm-hmm.
It was so crazy.
It was really crazy.
It's like both sides, but both sides really don't understand the history of what happened. I mean, maybe I have a different perspective since I have traveled the Middle East. But both sides are just acting stupid, especially the left.
Yeah.
In a way. Just find me on Twitter.
All right. And Phalix?
Phalix like 1, I think, on Twitter and Instagram. And it's becoming a big problem in society when white girls who aren't even out of high school are saying #Free Palestine in their Twitter bios because their opinions are so important, like they know so much about the world. But honestly, I've been missing the testosterone in my life ever since this great institution called college has been fucking me with a strap on. So I needed this testosterone in my life to feel alive again. So I feel I'm good about this. Also, if you are doing a generation panel, put me on it because I am the only Gen Z person here. I'm turning 20 in like 8 days.
Fuck
Don't
you
take
on
this away
Gen
from
Z.
me.
I'm
you
top
go
of the fucking generation,
Archer,
dude.
and you
Shush,
are
Archer.
Generation Z.
You're a fucking senior, dude.
Okay,
You're
go to the
you're both
retirement home,
embryos.
grandfather.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
your elders.
all of you.
I think I am. I mean, really, we're gonna have that as a topic next time, because then with Trip will be available. All right, Grimace, your turn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys actually want to follow me? Follow me on twitter.com/outgrimace. I'm trying to at least build that up a little bit, although making me depressed, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, thanks for having the panel. Appreciate hanging out.
Always.
Yeah, see you in a month.
Yep. See you in a month.
Hopefully sooner.
And of course, last but not least, Archer.
Alright, I'm Archer. Stream on Twitch, ArcherCA. I do a lot of if you fucking hate my opinions, I do a lot of call-ins. So if you fucking really want to chew me out, you can always come in and call into the to my live streams. And I also do personal finance as well, and talk quite a bit about economics and how to make your life more financially better.
Do you have a set hours or it just varies, Archer?
Ooh, yeah, you know what? It's a wild card. It usually on the weekend. I try to stream once, or twice. But yeah, if you check, if you, the best way to go is just follow me on either Twitch or join the Discord page,
Okay.
and then I'll let you know on there.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. And I will see you all of your handsome faces next month, okay? Bye.
Alrighty. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, there, taters. Those are always fun, aren't they? Here we go. All right. So that was great, wasn't it, guys? Let me see who. Did somebody give me? Oh, hold on a second. Somebody give me a private message. Okay. All right, got it. Once again, we didn't get a chance to do a hypothetical. We didn't get a chance to do a hypothetical. And in a way, that's going to be my fault. I purposely did that because Trip wasn't here. Trip loves the hypothetical. And so I decided we'll do the hypothetical, when he's here, because it was his idea to say, Tree, we should do the question, then a hypothetical, then a question, and then we got a time, then do a hypothetical. So I was thinking yeah, we should do that. Hold on, let me get out of my whereby for a second here. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. How are y'all doing, chat? How y'all doing today? I'm going to just talk with the chat. It was indeed fun. Some excellent points made, too. I'm glad you liked it, Buster Grimes. Y'all doing good? Hold on a second. Oh, I can see you guys right here. Cool. So tomorrow, for those who don't know, tomorrow I will have my regular streams. It will be at 6 o'clock tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's that. And then tomorrow also on my non-political channel, we'll be having, I will be uploading BJ's content, his interview. Actually, as soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna have to edit it. So I gotta edit that and then upload that up to I gotta upload that to the non-political show. So that's that. So without further ado, so there's that. Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday, Killer Chaos! Happy birthday, yeah! Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Killer Chaos. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I remembered. See, I remembered. Oh, God. Hey, y'all know y'all like it when I sing that like that. Happy birthday, Killer Chaos. Got some birthday cake. Yeah, yeah. Ha ha. Killer Chaos. So, what did you do for your birthday today? Did you get some nookie? Did you get some nookie? Did you go out to get some food? Did you get some birthday cake or ice cream? Yeah, y'all wish him happy birthday. Oh, God, I got a lot to do today. Shoot. Oh, you had a cookout. Oh, that's so awesome. Yay. Woo. Cookout food. And you got drunk. A cookout and alcohol. That is a good way for a man to celebrate his birthday. That is a good way of celebrating your birthday. All right, do your thing. Oh, God. I might as well go ahead and get ready to do what I got to do today, guys. So anyway, I will, I got to go. I will talk to you all. Hey, listen, this stays up. It's not going to be monetized, all the shit we talked about today. I know it's going to be unmonetized. I'm also going to work on some videos for the rest of the week. I got a message from YouTube saying, hey, your views are going up because you're uploading more videos. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. I was like, oh, okay. So they said my views for the Treehouse News has improved by 333%. Wow, your channel views are up 333% as you publish more videos and get more views. Please keep up the good work. YouTube sent me that. YouTube did. So there's that. All right, guys, I gotta go. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming. For those of you who are here new, we do this every third Sunday. Today's an exception because of, but next Sunday we will be doing this every third Sunday of the month. So we will be back here next Sunday. And I think it's going to be, it will be June the 20th. June the 20th is when we'll be back. Okay. So I will see you all then. All right. Y'all take care. Later, taters.